Cullen, and welcome into our streaming service here on YouTube, as we'll be with you for the next 2 hours as we build into the 3 Group 1s. The Sistema Stakes will be the first of those Group 1s for the 2-year-olds. The rain has faded away. We're seeing a little bit of sunshine, Bevan Sweeney, but the rain has had the effect on the track at the same time.
Yes, certainly. We had a couple of very, very heavy showers that have downgraded this track to a heavy 10. So we're now playing in that mindset of who will handle it and who won't handle it. But the action upcoming across the next 3 races is outstanding. Our best horses at weight for age level will do their thing in a couple of races' time. These babies will never have seen a track condition like this, so we are slightly guessing, but your deal was very, very good at his most recent performance.
Well, Stephen Hunt joins us as well from the bookmakers, and the first of the Group 1s will be for the 2-year-olds. Your deal posted as your favourite when these markets were released earlier in the week.
Posted $3, Brendan. Got as short as $2.70 first thing this morning. Now travelling at $2.20. Your deal currently the best backed in our first of the Group 1s, and punters have got momentum in the last 2 hours. Leith Innes and punters are seeing it as big as a beach ball, with the likes of Irish Flame winning 2 starts or 2 races ago, and then we just saw Pretty to See backed as favourite and doing the job.
Just a quick question too around that market as well, Stephen. There has been a couple of late scratchings, but there'll be no deductions on this particular race?
It's a Beauty Diva 101 chance, obviously no deductions there. Equinox, who was a $12 chance, no deductions applying there, so whatever you got during the week and today in terms of a price remains.
Okay, so here is the market for you, $2.20 around your deal. A horse who was very impressive in winning the Waikato Slipper last time to the races, 241.20 Opie aboard, wide draw on Wednesday afternoon, Bevan, looked like to be a problem, and now it certainly doesn't with how the track is playing and where they're finishing off their races, centre part and wider on the track.
Yeah, that big black mark, you had to get your razor out and rub it out, because the draw now looks perfect for the way this track is playing. Look, he really stretched away from a good field last start, didn't he? To win by 6 lengths. You'd have to suggest on what we've seen from him that he'll be well capable in these heavy 10 track conditions. He's placed a couple of times here behind our featured 2-year-old in Probabeel. So you take that one black mark away and you think there's a lot of ticks beside this horse's name. And
he wasn't too far off Probabeel as well, you know, leading up to the Karaka Million. Of course, he ran a very good second behind Probabeel and then finished it off with a third in the Karaka Million as well.
Well, it's the best form you can find, isn't it? Probabeel form, and then to come out and do what he did at his most recent start at Matamata against a quality field just stamped him as a pretty exciting horse going forward for a team of owners who've had a lot of success here at Ellerslie. Of course, Chris Rutten, Vespa, and others. He also picked up the 3-year-old with
Scott
Bass, and so he's a wonderful judge of an animal, and this horse gives him another great chance at a Group 1 victory.
All right, and there's the horse and picture shot with trainer Jamie Richards. They also have in the race Aotea Lad, but first of all we'll take our eyes to this bloke. He's a son of Dundeel, and we've certainly seen this stock of Dundeel produce this season as well. They've really blossomed this preparation, and this bloke, he's won 2 from 4 so far, and his last one was in the Waikato Slipper, and as I said beforehand, this has been a race that's been the winner. To be able to find the winner of that race, go back to 2016, Heroic Valor won that to win the Sistema Stakes. 2017, Summer Passage did it, and last year, Sword of Osman as well.
Yeah, he's a strikingly coloured horse as well, with the big white blaze, the 2 white socks on the back legs, and that slightly grey tinge to his tail. So he's got a bit about him, and he's by a sire who is going to stamp himself as one of the greats, I think, with a little bit of time. He's just doing everything Dundeel on the racetrack with his breeding stock. So look, he's pretty settled, isn't he? He's not turning a hair in the birdcage there, and he looks as fit as hands can make him.
Yeah, just quickly too, before we talk about the next run, I can tell you in the previous race, Stratocaster has been declared a late scratching. So Stratocaster, a late scratching in the previous race, a mishap at the start. That does mean it's affected dividends as well. If you did have a treble and you had Stratocaster, the favourite did win the race, and that was Pretty to See. So, but yeah, there's just those dividends have just been adjusted with him coming out. Aotea Lad, runner number 2. Well, blinkers go on this bloke today. He hasn't been far off them when you go through the Karaka Million run and everything that he's done in the Eclipse Stakes as well. He was beaten by Your Deal when last presented at Matamata, and it was a defeat of 6 lengths between him and Your Deal.
That's the concern, how big of a margin it was in defeat. Yes, he showed toughness, braveness, but to actually keep on finding the line, I wondered if he was hindered by those track conditions. He couldn't quite pick up, as we have seen on 2 or 3 occasions, his preparation behind Probabeel, behind Whiskey Neat. He's shown good acceleration. He didn't quite have it there at Matamata on the off-track conditions, so that's a slight concern. Maybe those blinkers will find a length and a half, but it still doesn't get him within 4 lengths of your deal.
You look, the ramifications around the wet track has got this horse very cold in betting, 5 out to $6. The stablemate Your Deal, that's the one they're looking for to climb into. Now Equinox has been scratched this morning, so Aotea Lad, 5 out to 6. Friendless will be clearly running for the bookies.
Let's move on now and have a look at number 3, Enjoy the Show. Well, this horse won at Pukekohe Park, and what I must say was a race that should hold up. There'll be a lot of form out of that maiden 2-year-old race. He's done the job. He looked okay through his trials, and he's at a price of 22s and $6.50.
Yeah, it was a good one. I did catch up with Murray Baker's Twitter preview of his runners coming to the meeting today, and he just wondered at this stage in his career whether he's quite got the class factor to be competitive. Going forward, I felt as though there was a bit of confidence from Murray that the horse would, in time, match up against some very top-line horses, but I'll just go with Murray to say maybe he's a little bit new for a race like this.
Can't knock an unbeaten galloper. 21 though out to 35.
Chichi Swordsman, runner number 5. Now this horse did win nicely, second up to the races. It was off the back of a placing and behind Tappy's 1 when beaten 2 lengths. Nigel Tiley does the training for, and Sam Collard aboard. Yeah,
well, I've got a bit of time for this particular horse, so I thought its debut suggested it was going to really develop through its next couple of starts. Well, it did exactly that at Te Araha and was good in winning, sitting on speed and finding a kick. We've been having a discussion about the Sham Expresses. You look at a horse like London Express as a young horse who was very, very good in those wet track conditions. So I'm going to give this one an each-way chance in the race.
Well spec'd, opened at $26, now $23. GG Express, it includes a $1,000 bet at $26. Currently the biggest liability outside the favour in Your Deal.
Here's Aretha, runner number 6. She comes into the race, Bevan, with a win in the Matamata Breeders.
Yeah, she was very tough that day. She sat on speed and kicked strongly. Whether she can do that today, I've got a slight question mark.
9 out to 10.
Bavella number 7, she did start at $2.30 in that race. She missed the start. She was a little fractious in the barriers. I think you've got to give her another chance. She did show her very good quality by winning the Splice Construction on a slow 7.
I caught up with Brendan Lindsay a little bit earlier. He said she's had a couple of issues, so she would have needed that run fresh up. Maybe she is just that little bit forgotten in the race.
Punter's confidence clearly dented 2 weeks ago when failing as a hot favourite. Closed odds on that occasion at Matamata and the Breeders. 420 out to 550. Can you purely back her on Leith Innes?
Well, what he's shown so far his last 2 races, possibly. Look, runner number 9's A La Lune, and this is, I find, the most intriguing run in the race. She's put up some massive runs so far in her preparation, and she was big last start in the Matamata Breeders.
Yeah, and I think she'll cop the track conditions. She'll just be able to posse out that little bit closer to them with the speed, not quite there as it is on top of the track. I think she'll be flying. Again, you'd love to see her at 1,400 metres here today, but that'll be on to Awapuni.
Spec'd enough in the middle market, 11 to 10. Currently $10 if you want to spec her over 1,400 metre swings in all-in markets for the Manawatu sides, which is currently open on the website. Check it out.
Just Serene, well, this is the interest horse from Australia. Well spruiked going through her first run when she was beaten. She missed the kick. She then led them up at Canterbury and was gunned down late by a horse who then came out and won $1 million race. How do we place her here in this race, Bevan?
Well, it's hard to know exactly how she's going to handle the track conditions. That's the biggest question for me, because the form would say she'll be right up to the best in this race.
Well shot during the week, 14s into 9s. We're seeing this continuously with the Australian gallopers, Longleaf in the Karaka Million Night, Nobu 7 days ago in the Derby. Wouldn't be surprised if that $9 price shortens, coming close to race start time. Just profiles as a nice betting concept, the fact that it's a go-forward horse. Drawn barrier 1, Sam Spratt doing the riding.
There's Your Deal, the favourite for the race, $2.30 and $1.30. Opie Boston taking the ride for Jamie Richards, the winner of the Waikato Slipper when last presented to the races. Aotea Lad, runner number 2, is at $6.70 with Bavella taking support. Also seeing single figures around Aretha and Just Serene, runner number 11 at $9.40. The Australian Raider. She is the daughter of Zoostar. Very shortly we'll hear from Aidan Rodley to get the latest from him as we watch these runners head out onto the track. $2.10 now, the price around Your Deal. You expecting this to even go below $2?
Yeah, there's a big possibility, Brendan, that it could start odds on. It's going to start the shortest price favourite on the day, the 10 race card at HQ. You're seeing a lot of the rivals, Aotea Lad, Bavella, now $6 each of two. Just Serene, 9 out to 9.50. Aretha, 9 out to 10. So the rest of the field are notable drifts where this horse, the favourite in Your Deal, keeps tumbling in. Wouldn't be surprised if it touched $2 in the next 2 minutes.
Bevan, you're with Your Deal, but are you sort of thinking that A La Luna is that horse where you can play the each way on her, but with her at 11s and sort of 2.30?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you play both because Your Deal is probably at that 80% level to win this race, and the one that I think that can beat it is A La Lune, so you're shopping around about that $10 mark on it. So, yeah, for me, A La Lune's an exciting process going forward. Possibly Your Deal, he'll just be a bit more positive than A La Lune, so he's going to be a little bit in front of that horse, and he just stretched away so nicely last up. But expect the 9 in the book to be flying at them late.
You do believe Opie will pop the horse into in a forward position?
I don't see any reason why not. Look, he was forward enough at his most recent start to come off that trailing position and really put them away. So from that outside draw, you don't want to give away that position and then get shuffled back and not be able to get to the outside, so you might as well put yourself somewhere in the mix if you give yourself the opportunity to be out there.
He can sit 3 wide, can't he? You only need to make one turn, 1,200 metres.
Yeah.
Place to be.
Yeah.
The way the track's playing as well. Quaddy Pool's over $100,000. Let's get to you, Aidan, with Jamie Richards.
Yeah, great day, Jamie. And of course, Jamie, these are the ones you really want, the Group 1s. You've got 2 in. First of all, though, the late scratching of Equinox, just down to track conditions.
Yeah, purely track. He was ready to run, but just too much rain this morning, unfortunately. Look, we think he's a really exciting colt, so he'll more than likely go to Wellington next week for a run, and then he's 2 weeks into the Manawatu Sires. So, yeah, watch out for him. He's a serious horse.
Okay, yeah, you've still got 2 runners. You've got Your Deal, who does seem to do the yardstick, and that draw's turned around with this rain, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be the worst place to be. He's probably going to be midfield, a little bit worse, but he'll get to the outside and should be very competitive.
The run in the Matamata Slipper, the Waikato Stud Slipper, was very good. He's won by a wide margin. How's he come on?
Yeah, he's come on well. He's a straightforward sort of horse now that he's been gelded, and just goes about his work and enjoys it. So, yeah, we're really pleased with him. Obviously would have preferred the track to be a little bit better, but look, you just got to play the cards you've been dealt, and he's here in good order.
Okay, yeah, Aotea Lad's run in behind him that day was pretty good. He's been beaten a long way. How does he turn it around?
He's probably tightened up a lot more. He's a good doing gross sort of horse, so he has tightened up nicely. You know, as you say, needs to find 3 or 4 lengths, but track's a bit of a question mark for him, but he's here and he'll do his best.
Okay, yeah, so gut feel on how they'll both handle it?
I think Your Deal probably going to handle it better than Aotea Lad, but they'll both give 100%. They're genuine sorts of horses.
Okay, we've seen Melody Bell perform on it in the past, but this is also performing on a wet track and stepping up to 2,000 metres. That combination looks a tough one for her. What are you thinking?
Yeah, would have been happy if it was a heavy track or a soft track at a mile, but you know, just stepping up to 2,000 metres for the first time with the rain affected ground does raise a question mark. But look, she's in terrific form at home. We wouldn't be here if we weren't happy, and she's ready to run a big race.
Best of luck for the Group 1s.
Thank you.
Emily Boston, we come to you. Who you got ahead of the Sistema Stakes?
Well, it's probably going to go with the number 1, Your Deal, on top. Looks to have come through that last start pretty well, and looks in very good order. You wouldn't think that it had raced on a slow track at Matamata. Presents nicely. Aotea Lad is doing his normal thing, being super relaxed and professional, as are a number of these 2-year-olds. Bit of an issue going on here with the Australian runner being very naughty. Bridle has actually come off, if you can get a shot of that. And the Gates boys are doing a great job just trying to get that bridle back on the horse and restrain it. Has been quite hot around here at the start, has the Australian runner in Just Serene. Sam Spratt is elected to dismount whilst they just sort out this issue, but is proving pretty difficult, is Just Serene. Outside of that, rest of them being very good down here at the start. George, as we get on up to you.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. And just hearing through from the Stoke Hendry stewards that the bridle snapped on Just Serene, so they are attempting to put a new one on, obviously. And there's a team of 4 starters assistants who are helping with this, and Sam Spratt, who has picked up the ride on the Aussie visitor, lending a helping hand or words of encouragement. The runners still to load away here for the Sistema Stakes, the first of our Group 1 features, the 3 Group 1 features today. Weather's cleared here in Auckland as well. I'm with the 1, Your Deal, but I really do like Ala Loon, and if she can handle the track, watch for her to be coming home very quickly over the final stages. I'm going to give Bavella another chance, and I did put in 2 Ayatia Lad as well. 1, 9, 7 and 2. My numbers, boys, as we await the field to load away. Just get this horse with the issue with the gear just serene. And there's the man, Opie Boston, on 61 Group 1 wins, 1 behind champion jockey Lance O'Sullivan. So he's got 3 wonderful rides in the next 3 Group 1 races.
He certainly does, and a great piece as well on the One News from Guy Hervelt as well, with Opie Bosson as he is getting close to that record with Group 1s in this country behind Lance O'Sullivan. And now into the red as well, Stephen, Your Deal.
Well, we predicted this 2-3 minutes ago. Your Deal now in the red, $1.80. You'll see that price just turn over, $1.85 still on Trackside Graphics. It will be $1.80 starting in our first Group 1. Just Serene, a notable drifter here on its antics pre to the start, 10 out to 12. And it's all about Your Deal. He will start the best back runner outside Melody Bell in today at HQ.
Gee, she's playing up, isn't she? Just Serene. Emily, to you.
Yeah, she's proving pretty tricky as this filly. They're just doing a really good job. They've got her in now. The gates are shut behind her and that replacement bridle was put on. So I think it's going to be pretty quick from here on in as they load up these 2-year-olds. Everyone else is being really, really well behaved down here at the start.
After Crown Prosecutor, I wouldn't worry. That's right.
Yeah, we saw all sorts of antics with him leading into the derby, didn't we? All right, we're getting close to the first of 3 Group 1s on Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup Day. And this race is the first of 2 Group 1s through the racing season for the babies. It is the Sistema Stakes for 2-year-olds, and the favourite is Your Deal at 180.
They'll be the last few to load away. Ala Loon goes forward. Your Deal, the favourite for the event. AP Boston looking to equal Lance O'Sullivan's record of 62 Group 1 wins. And Aretha about to go in, the Matamata Breeder Stakes winner. Stand by for the start, the Sistema Stakes. This is it. The 2-year-olds are ready for Group 1 glory. Set. Let's bring it on. Gates open. They're off to a perfect start in the Sistema Stakes. First away, Just Serene going with her. Now out wide, Rainbow Dash is going to head them all off. Right there as well as Enjoy the Show, Aretha. Your Deal works forward out 4 wide early doors. And behind them next, Bavella from Ala Loon, and then Gigi Swordsman and Ayatia Lad is last. 850 metres to go, and it's Rainbow Dash the leader, leads by 1 length from Your Deal, worked around on the outside of Enjoy the Show. Aretha is 4th on the inside of Bavella, 1.5 to Just Serene from Ala Loon, then Ayatia Lad, and 2 lengths away last is Gigi Swordsman. There's 6 lengths first to last as they head towards a home turn, 500 out, and the Sistema Stakes for the 2-year-olds, and staying close to the inside, Rainbow Dash. Your Deal out in the centre with Enjoy the Show, out a bit deeper on the track. Next we've got Bavella, looks to run on with Ala Loon. Aretha's coming into it as well. Homeward bound, 300 metres to go. They go to all parts of the track to make their runs. Bavella down the extreme outside. Ala Loon's running on. Still there is Aretha and Your Deal. That the 100 metres. It's Bavella, Ala Loon. Your Deal is lifting on the inside and Aretha between the 2. They go towards the line of the Sistema. Oh, Your Deal, I reckon. Opie's got a 62nd. Group 1, Your Deal, I reckon, just ahead of either Ala Loon and Aretha. Bavella was right there with Just Serene. Then Gigi Swordsman, followed further back in the field by Rainbow Dash, then Enjoy the Show and Ayatia Lad. It's gone right to the wire here between Your Deal and Ala Loon. And I'm kid you not, there wasn't much in it at the line. Let's have a look at the replays. So they go towards the post. Your Deal on the inside has that margin. Opie's got win number 62, Group 1. Second, Ala Loon. Third, Aretha. And it's been a great battle between the 3 over the final stages. Your Deal, prepared by Jamie Richards. And Opie Bosson has carried the day here in the Sistema Stakes by a nose from Ala Loon. Things got a bit tight, just close to the line to be fair on that head-on. But 9, Your Deal, the son of Dundee in the Sistema Stakes.
It's the one they wanted coming into the race. This horse had shown it on a slow 7 surface when last presented in the Waikato Slipper. Gee, what a form reference that race has been. It's now 4 years on the bounce where the winner out of that race goes on to win the Sistema Stakes. And great effort as well is Opie Bosson grabs another Group 1. To you, Emily.
Thanks, Brendan. Opie, this is pretty special for you. That's equal to Lance O'Sullivan. That's the first thing. But, geez, this is a really tough horse, isn't it?
he is. He over-raced a bit early, and I thought surely he can't keep going. And then I really got stuck into him, and he just fought so hard. He's just a top quality horse.
You were wide early. You ended up sort of 4 wide. You thought maybe the draw was going to help you, but it was really sort of tricky early doors.
It was, but with the rain that we got, and I started to more favour that draw, so I know we're wide the whole way, but we're in the best part of the track.
And how does it feel? Equal to Lance O'Sullivan. I know it's something you've been pretty excited to do, and you've achieved it.
Yeah, it's great, and now Lance is a champion jockey and champion bloke as well, and it's quite humbling just being able to be up there with someone like him.
Well done. Great win.
Thank you.
Yeah, a momentous occasion for Opie Bosson, and another one for you, Jamie Richards, because this horse has been ridden wide on a track that he's really not 100% on. He looked dead in the water at the 200 beaten, and he's fought back. How does that feel?
Oh, awesome. You know, to have Opie on and get to this milestone is a big, big effort by him, but also a huge effort by Dave to get the weight off him and get him back in the game. And I probably didn't realise the close association that Dave, Mark and Opie have had over the years, so it's really special.
What about this horse? We saw him on debut after a wide margin trial. Well, he'd really been under the whip in every trial, and then he's able to put himself in races now. Just to tell us about the education process behind him.
Very sharp knife is the key to this horse. In the pre-parade ring he was on the toe a little bit, and you can imagine what he was like as a colt. So big thank you to Chris Rutten and Rod Preston, and they've done a great job with the horse, and to the team at home, the big thumbs up, because they're the guys that are there each morning 3:30 giving them their breakfast. And yeah, he's a very good horse, isn't he? Because that's probably not the right way to ride him.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the future of this horse, what is in store?
He'll go to the Sires in a couple of weeks now, as long as everything's honky-dory at home, and go down there and be a really good chance. Hopefully you can ride him for a little bit of cover and see him explode, because he did overdo it a little bit out 3 deep, and I thought Opie was in a little bit of trouble, but full credit to horse and rider, they really toughed it out. And I just forgot to mention Mr. Norwood as well, and they're in the ownership, so thank you to them.
Yeah, just a quick word, your first assessment on Out Your Lad?
He looked a little bit disappointing, but he might just be trying to say that he's ready for the paddock. I was looking forward to seeing him on a better track after Matamata, and unfortunately we didn't get that, but he'll be back bigger and better next year.
Bring on the size.
Thank you.
And our star pedigree brought to you by Westbury Stud and Your Deal. He's a son of Done Deal out of a Red Ransomere and Miss Sapper, and well done to DJ Myers as well, the breeder. Jamie Richards, Opie Bosson, and now equals Lance O'Sullivan for Group 1 victories. But lots of talk around the race because Ala Loon's gone desperately close as well, Bevan.
Yeah, she's been super. Look, you have to give all credit to this particular horse, though, because we thought 3 wide was going to be okay close to the speed, but 4 wide he had to work pretty hard. So he's been asked extra over that last 150 metres. Look, but Valor went up, and I think it actually had a margin on them about halfway down the home straight. So Ala Loon's come strongly. She was a little bit unbalanced in the ground and a little bit maybe unbalanced this way of going. I just think there's a lot of upside around the 9 Ala Loon. But you've got to give this horse his credit. He's been tough, and those done deals, they just kick another goal.
They certainly do. To you, Aidan.
Now listen, David, first of all, we had Jamie sort of just singing Opie's praises, but you've got 2 men to sing praises for, I'm thinking here.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see Opie equal the great man's record, and it's just in awe of the job that Jamie's doing training these horses. It's really something pretty special to get all these Group 1s in his first season. And to all the staff, they're just doing such a great job, and I'm so grateful for them all.
Okay, yeah. There's a few good judges involved here as well, because Chris Rutten's got a great eye for a horse as well, and for him to be able to get a horse like this, put him in the Te Akea racing colours as well initially, must be pretty special.
Yeah, well, Chris is the best judge of all, and he's just an unbelievable judge of horses. And it was just such a proud moment for me when he came and said that he wanted his 3 yearlings to be trained at Te Akea. So it was just fantastic, and to see him now win a Group 1 just terrific.
It really has become a Te Akau race. I think you cornelled it last year with Sort of Osman and Avantage, Heroic Villa, a couple of years before that. You really are building a great record in this race.
Yeah, it's great. We just love racing here at Ellerslie. It's our favourite track. And to win another Group 1, people don't realise how hard it is to do. So when you do win it, it's time to have a party.
Exactly. We'll enjoy seeing that as well. We might see if we can grab. There's a few of those who've just gone up to get on that winner's die. So we might just duck over here and grab Jacob Mackay. Jacob, you've run a mighty race with Ala Loon. Were there sort of thoughts at one point you might, been able to pick off this Group 1?
Yeah, look, I was worried through the running when she didn't cop the track. She was flat to the board the whole way, and halfway up the straight, I started getting real excited. Bring on the 1400 next start.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to the sires?
Yeah, we'll see how she pulls up. Obviously, she's not a natural 2-year-old, but she just keeps improving. She's Group 1 place now, so if she pulls up good, there's no reason we won't be there.
Yeah, today, it's the culmination of what's been a pretty good preparation, isn't it? How's she sort of coping?
She's thriving. Early on, I thought we might get a couple starts, have to put her to the side and wait, but each race she just keeps improving. After her last start, she licked her bowl clean, so if she can do the same after today, a couple of days in the paddock, and Alpuni in 3 weeks will be perfect.
Good on you, Jacob, and keep up the good work. We might just wander over here. We'll just get the cameraman over. A couple of guys who are just looking at this replay quite closely, and might see if I can tap this bloke on the shoulder as well. Greg McCarthy, we are live on trackside. I'll just get a quick word because, geez, your filly's got another huge race.
It's been a tremendous run, yeah. No, we're just watching it now because we are a little bit unsighted, but we're really thrilled, yeah.
She did sort of get a little bit squeezed up at this point, only about 100 metres to go to, didn't she?
Well, I'm just seeing it for the first time, like I was just watching it live, so, yeah, but I don't think she was inhibited, yeah.
Okay, you've had a chance to talk to Murray Baker and jockey Matthew Cameron straight afterwards. Will you head on to the Man or Two Sires?
Oh, we haven't discussed that. That's Murray's call ultimately, yeah. So you never make a decision on race day.
But she's going well, isn't she?
She just seems to really enjoy it and thrive on it, eh? So, yeah, no, we're quite lucky, yeah.
Good on you, Greg, and thanks for joining us. Sorry to shoulder tap you there.
Cheers.
Yeah, we'll get it back to you guys, and we'll see if we can't come up back with a bit of a word from Chris Rutten and the other owners.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that, Aidan, and nice work. And, yeah, horses like Bavella has put in a big run out wide as well and has finished into 4th position. Just Serene, despite her antics at the start, she's finished in around 5th position. But the win in the race will go to Your Deal, runner number 1, holding out that challenge from Ala Loon. Bevan, we're going to bring you in and we're going to talk about the race again, and we're going to take off the Stipes vision, and we'll watch from Rainbow Dash inside Your Deal. Always was going to show that speed. There's a bit happening down closer to the rail as well.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Ala Loon's actually come across. Ala Loon actually jumped okay today.
Yeah.
Came across and caused a little bit of strife to the inside there, then got back, and she's never really on the bit at all in the race. Opie, well, he's out there and travelling on what we thought was the best horse in the race. Just did travel a little bit keenly, didn't he, at this particular point. Then you've got Aretha, and then Letha's determined clearly to get to that outside part of the track. He is making all roads a winner to the outside rail, and he does go for this race early in the home straight, and I think she got almost to the front, about halfway down, and that's the measure of this young horse, because he's had to work, he's over raced, he's been wide, and at some point in the straight I thought he's gone.
About here.
Yeah.
I think it was flat tacked. I mean, gee, he's lifted though.
Yeah, he's lifted. I hope he's just managed to angle a little bit further out in the track without losing any momentum. You've got Aretha in between, you've got Bavella out wide, and you'd have to say that Ala Loon, to the visual eye, doesn't look to be handling the track at all. She's all at sea in it, but gee, she's found a bit of stretch. I hope you took a bit of the $10 down at Awapuni that Stephen suggested earlier, but these done deals, Dad was pretty tough when it got to the deep dark places. He managed to pull out a couple of amazing wins in Australia and beat some quality horses, and he's stamping his stock as tough, and this horse out of that run last start where he was dominant had to throw on all his Sistema reserves today to beat a pretty smart sort of Ala Loon, and she looks a Group 1 winner in waiting somewhere, maybe 3-year-old, not sure.
Yes, maybe. All right, we'll talk more about that shortly around Ala Loon. Let's hear from the jockey.
I've grabbed Reece Jones. Reece, a hell of an effort from your filly. What did she show you today?
Look, she showed she's got a lot of heart. She wasn't comfortable in the going through the early and middle stages of the race until we got out of it at the 600, started getting out a bit wider. Then she sort of travelled into it good. She's ducked through, possibly got a little bit lost. We're racing on the outside fence. Got to the front and had a bit of a look at the crowd and bits and pieces. But to be fair to her, the track probably tripped her up. Better track racing in closer and even getting the bob would have helped.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob Mackay saying Manawatu size produce stakes next, 1400 metres, going to suit her down to the ground.
Yeah, look, it's right up her alley, and obviously Lou and the team have thought that for a while. She's always made ground well from back, so 1400 looks like it's right up her alley. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, good on you, Reece, and we've grabbed Lou Takiti as well. Lou, is that your first Group 1 runner?
It is. It is.
It must be some sort of thrill watching her sort of run for you so proudly there.
Oh, look, just made me so proud. Yeah, all my family, we're here today, and no, we just loved her run. And I suppose it's important of things to come, and we know next season's going to be a big year for her. We know that. But, this was a bonus getting her to go, in these short 2-year-old races. So, yeah, we're stoked. Yeah.
Good on you, Lou, and best of luck for Awapuni in a couple of weeks' time too, eh?
Thanks. I think she'll be really, right for that. Yep.
Ala Loon finishing into second position and giving a big thrill, and Reece Jones nearly pulling off another Group 1. He got desperately close there, didn't he? And for young trainer in Jacob Mackay.
Aretha's got a lovely race.
Aretha, yes.
Look,
yep.
For a young horse with only a couple of starts under its belt, it was very tough in the north. At its most recent start at Matamata on those off-track conditions, and certainly did not throw that away. So that horse, with a bit of Baker and Forsman polish over the next 12 to 18 months, is going to find herself in some good grade races again as the 3-year-old.
Just quickly, Stephen, size produce market. I mean, as you said, there was a market available. Anything new there that we can talk about?
Just working on that, BP, as we speak. Your deal will be a pronounced favourite, probably start around that $2.40 when we reopen in the next coming moments. Alaloon, I thought as short as $4 might be what I'm thinking about. I'll just go over that in the next couple of moments. But Alaloon, $4. Outside that, Aretha might be a move from the $10 price prior to the race. Appellant, who wasn't there, will be in the mix, maybe around that $14 quote. There'll be a couple of CD horses that might come into reckoning on the back of a couple of failures there, the likes of the Fugitive. Proper Beal's a $4 price, but we've got question marks surrounded Proper Beal, as we all know, going to Australia. But keep an eye, that market will be reopened in the next 2 to 3 minutes.
Yep, okay, all right. That's the futures market for the next Group 1, the Size Produce Stakes. Aidan, to you with Chris Rutten.
Yeah, we're going to grab Chris. He's just come down from doing the presentation, so we will just grab him in between people. He's just helping a few people down, like the gentleman he is. But come and see us, Chris. We're live on the YouTube stream. Just tell us how that Group 1 feels.
Oh, amazing! I just didn't, you're not really with it coming into the race a little bit. You're pretty anxious, and to get that result, huge again. It's not easy, as you know. And what a great horse.
We've seen Vespa come here and do similar things in the past. What about this one? How does it compare?
He's right up there, isn't he? Doing this. Vespa won the Diamond. This one's got a lot of heart too. Vespa was quite speedy. This one shows some speed and looks like he'll go on with it further. Vespa would have too, but he got an infection in the lungs, which is a pity. But it's very exciting for us. We couldn't believe it.
About the 200 metre mark, those other horses went past. He's got off the canvas. Had you sort of given up chances at that point?
Not really, because he's done it. He did it here last time. He came back a little bit with Probabile and AOT Lad, didn't he? Yeah. That's great. That's awesome.
So tell us, what really attracted you to this bloke as a young horse?
I'm always looking for. I've got certain things I want to see that tick me right off with a horse. I want them all to be signed up before I buy the horse, and he ticked them all off. And he's got the balance. He's got everything there in the right places that fit together, and the way he moves, and strong. And he looks like he'd go on as a 3-year-old. So I really wrapped with him. So I was only going to go to a certain amount on the horse, and he went, and. Like they say, if you really want it, pay it a little bit more, otherwise you don't come home with anything.
Exactly, and now you're sitting where you are right now.
Yeah, it pays to. No, it's great fun, and good for Wendy and John, and it's really exciting for them. They've been in the game for a long time. Yeah. So it's great to see them getting the fun out of it as well.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about them and their accommodation, because I think basically just about all horses at your race, they're along for the ride.
Yeah, well, John was really, I set up a training establishment down home, and John came to me and asked me if I'd set it up, and he supported me and got behind me to set it up and did it. So yeah, it was good when he came back and asked, should we go and get a few horses? And we'll keep going. It's great. Yeah.
A bit of an excuse for a celebration beverage now.
Yeah, this Auckland, it treats me well up here. Not a bad place to come, this track.
Good on you. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks, Aidan. Thank you all.
He should know all the hot spots by now, the amount of celebrating he's done after winning feature races here out of Ellerslie, Chris Rutten.
Well, look, if people remember back to the Lord of the Rings films, he actually shut his breaking in operation down because he was the man that was in charge of all the horses that you saw in the movie. And they were amazingly trained to do things in films that, horses basically don't really do. So he had a lot of success through that film trilogy with Peter Jackson. Before that, he was a master at breaking in horses, and I think he's returned to a lot of that now and works a lot of horses around home. So he's just got a massive background in working with thoroughbreds, and he's obviously formatted, as he said, in his process at the sales, what he wants to see and how it all fits together, and he's clearly pretty close to the mark.
Yeah, heck yeah. Right, well, that's one Group 1 down, and this one, well, it's mouth-watering what's in front of us here, isn't it? The Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. Melody Bell has really delivered everything you could expect from a top-quality horse this season. She's won 4 Group 1s. She's at $2.60 and $1.28, but they're really pushing the envelope out this start because she goes to 2,000 metres this afternoon for the first time. Dance Dance is at $2.90 and $1.30. Vinda Dance $9, On the Rocks at $6.50. Stephen, talk to me about the money.
They're targeting 2 runners. Obviously, you see there on graphic, number 9, Melody Bell, $3.40 on opening. Got as short as $2.90 this morning. She's now travelling at $2.60. Clearly the best back runner in our second Group 1. In front of number 10, Dance, $3.20 this morning. Got as short as $3 an hour ago. Now under that $3 mark at $2.90. 80% of total turnover are on the 9 and 10, Melody Bell and Dance.
Well, they're the two.
Maria Falau, ambassador for Barfoot and Thompson. Who are you going for, Dance or Melody Bell?
I'm going to go with Dance.
Oh, I've got to go Melody. I know a Melody Robinson, who one of our friends, and with a name like that, you've got to go for it. So Melody is the pick for me.
Kitty Barfoot of Barfoot and Thompson, have you got a pick for us, Melody Bell or Dance?
Dance.
Dance. I'm not going to wait. There you go.
David Archer, Dance or Melody Bell?
Aiden, I'm going to go Melody Bell, only because I think she looked fantastic last start. Beautiful, big, robust filly. Dance, great horse, but I'd give Melody Bell half a length today.
With the mare, Dance today. I just think the way the track's playing will probably suit her, especially the 2,000 metres. Could be wrong though, Melody Bell, she's a superstar, so really looking forward to the 2 mares squaring off.
Melody Bell.
Why is that?
Oh, I love that horse. It just tries so hard. They both do. But I'd love to see Melody Bell stepping up in distance and doing the thing for the Tiaka boys.
Justin Morgan, Dance or Melody Bell?
Dance for me.
What's that?
I just think the going, I think it's going to be good enough in the going. I want to make sure that something's going to like the conditions, and I think it will.
Cameron George, you know your horses. Melody Bell or Dance.
DC, Ellis knows better. Melody Bell.
With the Northern Mystics here in the Barfoot and Thompson tent, and let's find out what they're picking. First of all,
I'm Christina Bryce. I've come over from Australia to play this season.
Okay, Dance, Melody Bell.
Dance.
Hi, Michaela Sokolich-Beatson. I'll go with Melody.
Melody Bell,
yep.
Hi, I'm Phoenix Kataka. I'm going to go with Melody Bell too.
I'm Jamie Hume and Melody Bell it is. I'm Edna Makaire. I'm going to go Melody Bell too.
All right, nice work there from Aidan Rodley to be able to get the match race down as well with between Melody Bell and Dance as well. All right, back to you, Aidan.
So now we're with the people who really know those horses best of all. First of all, we've got John Galvin here, and of course, we've got a glamour mare and Melody Bell, and you've got some glamour you're up against as well, because Kylie Bax and Dance, she's been in terrific form as well. But first of all, for you, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so our thoughts are that if the track this morning had been, or now was a dead 5 or a dead 6, we'd be pretty happy. Because she's stepping up and tripped the 2,000 metres. Now that it's a heavy 10, obviously it just makes it a bit more testing, and so there's the confidence level's dropped a wee bit as a result of the rain today.
Yeah, we've seen some just a little bit of toing and froing from you and Kylie. It's all been very nice stuff. There's like someone said to you, that's not how you're meant to do smack talk. I saw that afterwards, but it's been really complimentary between the pair of you.
Yeah, well, I guess both of us being syndicators, we know how hard it is to A, get a good horse, and B, to get clients, and so there's mutual respect there. And of course, we didn't pay very much for Melody Bell, but Kylie paid a lot less for her horse, so it is a great story.
Yeah, and isn't she a great horse, Dance?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's and she's proven at the trip and proven under these sort of conditions. So yeah, I'm a bit.
Well, let's find out from Kylie. Kylie, you're up against a superstar in Melody Bell, but geez, your girl has been doing, she's done some fine things, and especially now the rain's come, that probably puts her right in contention even more.
Yeah, we're not too worried about the rain. I mean, a heavy 10 for all of us is not the best picture at all, but we just love her so much, and all the owners just are thrilled to be here. We're thrilled to be running against such a wonderful field, and obviously Melody Bell is a superstar, so we're just happy to be in it.
Yeah, exactly. We might not have sort of seen her a couple of weeks ago, but she came here on Saturday, really nice exhibition gallop, and by all accounts, talking to your trainers, she's in very good order.
Well, they just called me on Monday and just said, look, she just did the exhibition gallops too well, and I saw a picture of Opie in the informant, and he had a big smile on his face, and I said, well, that's enough for me.
Yeah, he's riding your opponent, though. How do you feel about that?
Oh, ouch. Hurts a little bit. We've got a fantastic jockey on board, so Craig Grills will give us a good ride.
We asked John the same thing, but tell us, what do you make of Melody Bell?
I think she's an amazing horse. I mean, any horse to win as many Group 1s and to give all the punters and all the fans such a huge thrill. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, well, best of luck for you, Kylie. Best of luck to you, John, and let's hope we see these two glamour mares just living up to their reputations today, boys.
All the best, Kylie.
You too, John.
All right, nice work there with John Galvin and Kylie Bax with two terrific Group 1 horses. Dance has won 2 Group 1s this season, Captain Cook and also the Zabeel Classic, and of course Melody Bell in search of 5 this season.
Braden didn't have to stand on a box to talk to those two like he did to have to talk to the netballers.
No, he didn't. Well, there's Craig Grills, of course, having a chat to the ownership group, and a great pick-up ride as well for Craig Grills with Dance, because this is Melody Bell and Opie Bosson. And she's about to head out onto the track now with those pre-race earmuffs on as well. She is the favourite at $2.80. And Bevan, who would have thought that we would have seen a horse who was so dominant in a telegraph market come out and be favourite for a weight for age 2,000 metre race? She's shown that she is adaptable at all distances, and punters think that'll be the case with her going up to 2,000 metres.
It's unique to have a horse run favourite in Group 1 sprints, be good at 14, the mile, and just look to the eye to run the 2,000 metres so comfortably. I came to the racetrack this morning thinking she is the one. All that rain this morning, thought, well, I think this market's really going to push back towards Dance, because it's hard to say. Well, it seems strange to say. She's got everything against her today because she hasn't been over 2,000 metres. She's on really tough testing track conditions, whereas the other mare has been proven on the soft track conditions and has run over the trip. So I love her. Last time I saw her at Otago, I thought she's the one for the season. So I'm going to stick with the ship. But as George said, we could be wrong whichever way we go here.
Yep, it really is. And we're not sort of getting a line through the markets as well. Is that fair to say, Stephen, with how the prices are and sort of how the money's coming for the two runners?
They've got it down to a 2-horse war, Brendan, between Melody Bell and Dance, the 2 4-year-old mares. Melody Bell, I've got no dramas of her getting 2,000 metres. If she gets beat today, it won't be by 6 lengths. She'll just get beaten by a better horse over 2,000 metres. Whether it's Dance, or on the rocks, Finder Dance, I don't know. But I think she will get the 2,000. That won't be an excuse coming out of the stable in about 10-15 minutes' time. We've had a number 4-figure bets on Melody Bell. The biggest betting, a 5K bet at 10,000. So really the traction is all about Melody Bell. We continue to get the 4-figure bets. Number 10, Dance. You see in picture screen there. Again, not friendless today. In terms of dollars today, she matches Melody Bell dollar for dollar. A number of 4-figure bets just in the last 30 minutes. The biggest being 3K at $3, now trading at 2.9.
All right, well, let's talk about Dance, because she did go into the Herbie Dyke as a $1.50 favourite, Bevan, and she was beaten. She was a horse that was probably ridden upside down. She was a touch fresh. It was a good 3 surface. So look, all those factors were there for her defeat with what we saw. But what we have seen from her, she's won 2 Group 1s this season.
Well, we saw her in the parade there at Te Rapa, and I was a little bit worried because she was a little bit above herself, just got a little bit sweaty. Chris came on and said, well, that's just her. Today, not the same horse. She's much more settled, she's much more alert, she's in command of her surroundings. She's on the bounce a little bit, but I've got no worries with her today, and she's proven over the trip, proven in the track conditions. As I said, I'm with Melody Bell, but I can see myself being wrong.
Okay, well, let's talk about some other runners, because there are some other Group 1 horses in the race. Number 1, On The Rocks, who won the Herbie Dyke when last presented to the races. He's got a very good track record here at Ellerslie, where he's won 3 feature races and his 3 wins here at this venue. How do we line him up here this afternoon?
Gee, he looks fantastic in the parade. As we've mentioned before, he's not an overly big horse, but he was dominant late there at Te Rapa. He had 59. I worried about that going to Te Rapa just with his size, and he just proved me completely wrong when he ran on by. So I'm not going to be knocking him today. He's paraded as good as hands can make him. I think he's a tough little horse who will more than likely get through the track condition. If the 2 mares are faltering, he might just be the one that's giving a look at them late.
Again, running for us, as he has been a lot of times this preparation, a lot of times in his career, even as a 3-year-old, and the likes of the Avondale Guineas, etc. There's no 20-1 or 18-1 as he paid at Te Rapa and the Herbie Dyke. He's $6.50 off a shortener of $5. He's kind of found his mark throughout the day. He's been very steady at 6.5. He'll be clearly running for us again. The bookies On The Rocks. Go you, good thing.
Well, you know the breed, Stephen. What's your gut feeling on track conditions for him?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I reckon he would have had an almighty chance to beat the 2 mares on a good 3, even on that dead 4, dead 5 surface. I just don't think he's got the exposed form that I could be confident in terms of betting prospect against Melody Bound Dance Dance Stance on a heavy 10 track conditions. But again, I've underestimated this horse at times, and he's managed to prove me wrong, which I've been pretty happy about.
Co-trainers Pam Gerard.
We grabbed Pam and Pam On The Rocks. We saw a terrific performance on top of the ground at Te Rapa. What about today in the wet?
No, it's a real worry for us. Look, he'll try his heart out. He's got a little bit of form on a slow track, but I really do think it's a bit beyond him.
How's he gone on since that win?
He's been terrific. His work this week's been so exciting, and look, it's disappointing, but it's the same for all of them, so he'll try his heart out.
Yeah, has he shown anything in the past on rain-affected tracks?
Maybe down in the grades where he's probably just a little bit better than some of the other horses, but really he's just got such a long stride. It's too far between strides to get any grip, so yeah. It is what it is.
Geez, he's been a revelation this preparation, though, hasn't he? You know, the Ritual Mile win. I know he was good in the Avondale Guineas last year, but even that, you know, the Herbie Dyke to cap it off. He's been great form.
He's a very good horse, and I think he's just going to get better. Like, you know, as Mike said, he's very underrated here. He just seems to slip under the guard by the media all the time, and that suits us. But, you know, it would have been nice to have them on a level playing field today to see who really is the best 2,000 metre horse out there. But whether he's tough enough to tough it out today, I'm not sure.
What's next for him safely through today?
I think Mike's got something earmarked in Australia, as he has. But hey, let's just get him through this safely. And, you know, he's still only a 4-year-old.
Yeah, Vonja Mask, how's he arrived?
He's travelled over super. Really happy with him. But once again, sort of chances go out the gate once we got the wet track. He's a real firm tracker. And long way to come, but it's a good run up for him into Sydney.
Best of luck with them both.
Thank you.
Pam Gerard talking about the third favourite in the race, that's been On The Rocks. Well, there's Rondinella. This is her big chance today to see if she can step it up. We've seen her at her last start to the races, Bevan, and her placing behind Vinda Dance in the Kaimai Stakes, and we know how highly thought of she has been by trainer Roger James, and she has a chance to be able to tackle the big boys and girls today.
Well, she's no doubt at the 2,000 metres, is she? And look, if Finney hadn't got cramp the other day, I think Rondinella probably wins that particular race and beats Vinda Dance. So I suppose the question, Aidan, and I know you've got Roger with you, does this track take that top-end speed away from Rondinella?
I'll put it to Roger. The track conditions, how does it affect your mare's chances?
To be honest, Aidan, I put it to the owners, let them make the decision whether to run or not. I wasn't that keen, but you know, they pointed out that, you know, if we're in Sydney and we get a similar track, we've got to know. So.
Yep, fair call. She's been in great form. The 2 wins leading into that Kaimai Stakes race where she's only gone down a whisker.
Yeah, look, I don't think the track really helped her greatly that day either, and but she bounced through it, and her work's been just stunning ever since. And I just watched a prelim. If you were picking them on prelims, she'd be the one I'd pick every time. But yeah, I know she's not at her best on these sort of tracks.
Okay, best of luck anyhow, Roger.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's talk about the Derby winner from last year, and it's Vinda Dance, 860 on the tote 11s and 245 fix, Bevan, for Vinda Dance, who won the Kaimai Stakes last time.
Well, he's tough, if nothing else, and he does have that little bit of wet track form. He's won 2,400 metres here and been too tough for his age group. He's come back this time and he's just taken a couple of runs, and that's quite impressive for a horse who's come back off the break this horse had to win it its most recent start. Gee, it was tough. He just kept on winding up. So if it's a battle of the toughest, he's in the mix.
Nothing separates Melody Bell and Dance Dance. Close to start time, Stephen.
270 plays 280, just in favour of Melody Bell. Dance really challenging that top line that Melody Bell has held for a good 48 hours. Rondinella, Vinda Dance, you can mirror these two. They opened at 850. The pair, they've gone out to 9, 10, now trading at 11. Both of them stepping up to weight for age after a handicap run.
Right, and Emily, she was leaning towards 10, 9 and 6 as well, off how the horses have made their way down to the start. To you, George Simon, it is the second Group 1 on Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup Day, the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes.
Thanks, Brendan. Yes, they are loading away here. They start right in front of the main stand here at the 2,000 metre start point. And this wonderful clash of Melody Bell and Dance, and the chances don't end there too, because it's a very talented field here for this year's running of the Group 1 Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. Now, Farm Boy to come in and Melody Bell. She was the first one out to the start. She went out a few minutes earlier. And she's about to be brought forward here for O.P. Bosson. So stand by for the start. This is it. Let's bring it on. Gates open. They're off in the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. Saint Emilion makes a beeline towards the lead. So does Shadows Cast, and right there also along the very inside, Authentic Paddy kicks up. Vinda Dance is right there from On the Rocks, and then Melody Bell. Back over on the inside is Rondinella as they keep her well away from the rail. Back in behind those next is Farm Boy. Melody Bell will settle back third last. Dance on her quarters, and a length away Elusive Treasure is last. They swing out into the back nearing the 1,600 metres, and last year's winner, Saint Emilion. He shows the way by 2 from Authentic Paddy. Vinda Dance is third. Shadows Cast fourth, and now Farm Boy being caught wide, sent forward now to sit up in second spot. Rondinella's back midfield with Melody Bell, 2 lengths away On the Rocks. Dance, and last is Elusive Treasure as they're about to put the 1,200 metres mark behind them in the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes, spread out over 9 lengths. And it's Saint Emilion the leader, leads by 1 length from Farm Boy. Authentic Paddy is third on the inside of Shadows Cast, 2 lengths away Rondinella. Right with it is Vinda Dance as they top the rise, 1,000 to run. Race favourite Melody Bell's back fourth last, alongside of her Dance On the Rocks, and poking up on the inside Elusive Treasure. They compress ranks at the 800 metres. There is 7 lengths first to last. It's Saint Emilion the leader, leads by 3/4 from Farm Boy, and out 3 wide Shadows Cast, poking up on the inside Authentic Paddy. Vinda Dance is next, and now Melody Bell, she's only 3 lengths off the leaders. Dance works round out wide from On the Rocks. Further back in the field here is Rondinella, and back with them Elusive Treasure. They come towards a home turn, 500 metres to go. They swing in. Authentic Paddy took the shortcut home. Now out wide Melody Bell and Dance. These 2 wonderful mares go to war at the 300. It's Melody Bell a length clear from Dance. 4 lengths away Rondinella, then came further back On the Rocks and Authentic Paddy. A 2-horse war at the 100 metres. Melody Bell, Dance on the outside. Melody Bell's kicking. Dance can't quite get her. Melody Bell, that's 5 Group 1s this season, and another one for you know who, the bloke on top. Second Dance. Third over as they went across the line was Rondinella, then Authentic Paddy. Back in behind them then as they went across the line would have been Vinda Dance, Shadows Cast, then came Saint Emilion On the Rocks. Well back Elusive Treasure, and Farm Boy will be the last of them home. These 2 wonderful mares, they went to war at the 300 metres. And with her 5th Group 1 win of the season, taking her total to 6. Melody Bell has proven a touch too strong. Dance. Gee, they gave us a sight. They went for it at the 300 metres with utter contempt for the opposition, who were very talented. Rondinella will be third, and then Authentic Paddy. But it was all eyes on these 2 wonderful mares, Melody Bell and Dance. And Opie was able to get the last bit out of Melody Bell. She is an absolute marvel. That's her 5th Group 1 win this season. Dance tried so hard. Rondinella, the mares sweeping the race first, second and third. and Authentic Paddy in 4th spot.
Wow, how good's horse racing. And that right there, we've got two of our best doing battle here at Ellerslie. They turn for home. Melody Bell and Opie Bosson travelling sweetly. Dance 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 is presented as well at the same time. It's a battle between Melody Bell and Dance Dance Dance, and she comes out on top again, Melody Bell, to make it 5 for the season, Bevan.
This is what you want when one of the two needs to go head-to-head stages. You think Dance Dance is going to get it, but man, she just digs in, Emily, this mare. She's 1200, 14 mile. It doesn't matter. She's the best.
She sure is. She's just a queen, Opie, isn't she? What a performance. That's so many Group 1s for the season and just unbelievable.
Oh, she's tough. I thought Dance Dance didn't hit me when she came up beside me, but she just put her head and just didn't know when to lay down, and I just love it a bit. So
When you spoke about her during the week to me and you went in to ride her track work, you said she's just the ultimate professional, isn't she?
yeah, once you put a saddle on her, it's game day for her, and she's not naughty or anything. She just knows what her job is, and just a true professional. Yeah.
We built this race up to be a two-horse war, and isn't it so good that it ended up that way, the two great mares battling it out?
It was. You like things like that to happen in racing, and when two top quality animals knuckle down in the finish, there's nothing better.
In that last race we spoke that you'd equalled Lance O'Sullivan. You've now just gone past him. Again, how does that feel?
That was awesome. I'm retired now.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, a massive achievement as well. 63 for Opie, but wasn't that the fight that we came to see? Dance 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 and your glamour mare Melody Bell. How proud of you are you, Jamie?
Awesome. I sort of said to the boys during the week when they came down that it's going to be good to see two, really good mares go toe to toe, and thankfully we've come out on top. But full credit to the horse and the staff at home and the jockey. They've done a terrific job, and she goes to the paddock. Hopefully horse of the year.
Yeah, and a 2,000 metre winner as well. That gives you the confidence to do things next season, does it?
Yeah, it does. She'll have a nice break. She'll be back in 1st of May, and we'll try and go the same route as we did in the spring, but we might go to Melbourne for a bit of a look round as well.
Yeah, it looks like a Cox Plate from about 1986, the way that those two battled it out. Is that the target, Cox Plate?
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Hopefully the Mayor of the World will be retired by then, and it might make things a little bit easier. But we never take it for granted to have these good horses. And for Dave to buy her for 57.5, John to syndicate her, and get such a good group of people involved in her, it's a pleasure to be up here accepting the accolades.
What's it like when Dance Dance Dance, you know how potent she is, a Group 1 winner of a couple, to come at you like that? Did you think you had the firepower to hold off?
I guess you're always a little bit wary. I thought on a heavy track at a mile would have been nice, but it was soft, a heavy track at 2,000 metres. That was a little bit of a difference, but Opie, she's going to go a bit keen at the winning post here, and you got her in behind a couple, and she travelled keen enough. But she sprinted like a proper good horse does. So full credit to her. She's a champion, and we just love her.
2 Group 1s on the day. Go and watch her come back. Congratulations, Jamie Richards. Here she is, Melody Bell and Opie Bosson, winner of the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes.
Melody Bell wins at $2.60 and $1.50 and holds out the challenge from Dance Dance Dance, and it was an almighty big challenge from her. What we've seen from her though is that her defeat, there's still more to come from her, Dance Dance Dance, and Rondinelle has run a heck of a race into 3rd position. Great for racing with what we've just seen here in New Zealand, Bevan, with these two horses fighting it out.
Well, she's run into one of the best horses we've seen in recent times. She's gone out favourite in Group 1 sprint. She's been a winner at the 14, the mile, and now to win over 2,000 metres and win like that with a horse who's proven at the trip to come up outside you and find like that. There's more than just ability there. That's all about what's inside the chest, and she just was not going to get beaten today. The Boston factor is important that last 50 metres. He just managed to find a little bit extra, and we know that is what Opie holds in our riding ranks. She over-raced a little bit too early, and he got her in behind a couple. They both presented, and I think Grillsy at one point, Aidan might have thought that he was going to be the man in front.
Certainly looked that way, Craig. You must have had visions of success out there.
Yeah, I did. She was quite keen to race.
The plan was to sort of get going on her. I had to come around a few, which wasn't probably ideal, but I was going too good. She travelled into it. I put a head on the other horse, probably about the 150, but to the other horse's credit, it kicked back. Not through my one lying down, but it was, all credit to the winner. But she tried very hard, and it was a good run.
Two great horses. What's it like to be involved in a battle like that?
Oh, it was great, Obviously didn't go my way, which would have been nice, but at the same time it was good. Opie's a good mate of mine too, so happy for him.
We'll let you go and get weighed in. Of course, Group 1 success from last week as well. Before they do this presentation, we might just see if we can't duck over and get a little bit of a talk from these owners. They've had a hell of a ride with this mare too, haven't they? And we will just go and grab John Galvin. I know I'm sort of putting our cameraman through it, and Tainer Walters, he just loves this mare. He's throwing his hat, he's given it everything. John, I know you've got a presentation to go to, but just tell us what's that like?
Look, I tell my people all the time we should be, humble in victory and gracious in defeat. It's a bit hard to be humble when you sort of win 5 Group 1 races in a season. So she's a superstar, a real superstar, and the feeling is simply amazing.
Yeah, you cast eyes on her just walking around on the grass area over here with that winner's rug on. How proud of this mare are you?
Well, so proud because, obviously she didn't cost a lot of money. She had a fantastic 2-year-old year. Her 3-year-old year was okay, but at 4 she's just been, as I say, a superstar.
Okay, I know you've got official duties to do, so go and accept the award for another mighty Group 1 success.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there's our man John Galvin. We do have a couple of connections still standing by, but one man who's been throwing his hat around, and Tainer Walters, we are live on the YouTube stream. This mare, tell us about the relationship for you guys. How proud today?
It's an unbelievable feeling, to have a mare to win a Group 1 and just to come out and try equal pretty much 5 Group 1s in New Zealand. It's a massive feat for her. It just shows how tough she is and how resilient she is. So, no, it's a genuine buzz to be out here. So
yeah, and just the spirit that she's got. I know she's a little bit keen, but there's every reason for her to. She's just run 2,000 metres for the first time and won a Group 1.
100%. They're proven stayers that she went up against, but there were a few doubters. But that's just how it goes, and she is one of the toughest I've ever come across, and very thankful.
What are you going to do for the next little while? She's about to go to the paddock and have a break.
I don't know. I might go to the paddock myself just quietly.
Yeah, and maybe come back for a spring trip to Melbourne, perhaps?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, she's going to poke you around a little bit more, but a cartwheel to come, eh?
Yeah, sorry, I did it straight after. Yeah, I know.
I think we might have got it on camera, so we'll look for the replay. Good on you, Tainer Walters, guys. We'll get back to you, boys, and then we'll catch up with Chris Gibbs. He's just standing by as well, so we'll come back to you guys, and Chris Gibbs will be with us in a second.
All right, nice work, Aidan. And just thinking as well, Bevan, a Karaka Million 2-year-old winner winning a 2,000 metre race at weight for age here at Ellerslie. I mean, we've spoken all about her, about her feats from 12 to 2,000 metres, and it's proven here with how she's won this race.
Well, she's defied things that have happened in the previous seasons. We've seen Karaka Million 2-year-olds not really push on with the job. She's just gone to another plateau. But we must speak about Rondinella. Rondinella caught one on the corner and lost a lot of momentum and probably a length or two. So she has been very, very good late in this particular race. I think there's a lot in store for Rondinella when she's back on top of the ground. I don't know where Roger takes this mare, but she's got a lot of quality on the rocks, tied down in the ground. Shadows Cast never copped at a stride. Authentic Paddy's gone another brave race. He's run 4th in another Group 1. He's just a wonderful old galloper as well, but the race was all about the 2 glamour mares.
It was, wasn't it? And look, you could see that a number of horses were under pressure on the point of the bend as they started to work their way from where they were in the run. Opie Bossum was back on the inside, sort of in 3rd or 4th last, and was starting to work into the race. Dance was working around them as well. And that's the other side of the coin that we just saw there with Michelle Bradley going down, finishing into 2nd position. And let's find out now from Chris Gibbs. I'm sure they're very proud of the run at the same time, though, Aidan.
Oh, absolutely. She has just gone an enormous race. Dance. You've come up against another star mare, but she's a star in her own right, your girl.
Oh, absolutely. We're very proud of her. It was a huge run. But firstly, I guess I'd have to say congratulations to Jamie Richards' team and to Melody Bell and the owners, because we had her headed at the 150 and she kicked back. It was just a wonderful race.
Yeah, for her though, now she's spot on for Australia, isn't she?
Well, I think so. We were humming and hawing about whether we were going to even come here after a gallop here, and then the way that she did after the gallop, we made that decision. I'm pleased that we did. She paraded nicely. Still a little bit bolshy, but that's her. So we'll see how she comes through it this week, but the plans to go to Australia are definitely right at the top of our list.
Have you got a date penciled in for flying her over?
Yeah, she flies Monday week, so she'll have about 9 days to just chill out for a little bit. She won't have to do much, obviously she's very fit. So that will fly then, and then she runs on the 23rd.
That's in the Randvet. All things going well in that race, so what does she do after that?
If she runs well in the Randvet, she'd have to run in the first 3 or be very, very unlucky. She'll carry on. Next payment for the championships, the Queen Elizabeth, is on Tuesday, so we'll be paying up for that, and then that's our plan. So I mean, we have to take on Winx, of course, which is, my God, that's a huge thing, But no, you've got to have a go, and that's where the money is, and that's where everyone would like to go and have a race. And I think the mare deserves to have a crack.
She's won 2 Group 1s for the season. She's just run a cracking second. Is the best still yet to come from her, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not going to sound a little bit strange in saying it, but I think that when it deteriorated to the real heavy, I've got to take my hat off to Melody Bell, because first go at 2000, and to win like that, that's tough. But the simple fact was, we wanted a bit of rain, but I'm not sure we really wanted that much rain. But just 2 great mares fighting it out, and you couldn't have scripted it better.
Yeah, she's done you proud today, Chris. Congratulations. Thanks for giving us the time too.
Thanks, Aidan.
Yeah, Chris Gibbs, who trains in partnership with Michelle Bradley. If we just wander over this way, and Kylie Bax, who's just witnessed one of the greatest races in New Zealand I've ever seen. Kylie, I know you've gone under, but just tell us your reaction to that.
Oh no, we're absolutely thrilled. I mean, I think she'll strip even fitter. We were expecting, that she would strip fitter after this. And Melody Bell, what a horse, what a race. I mean, just for the people, the punters, such a great race, and we're thrilled.
Yeah, and we just say to Chris, it's an ideal trial for now, what's coming up in Sydney, isn't it?
Absolutely. The Randvet, here we come. I think and hopefully we'll get the Opie on board, maybe. I don't know.
He's there.
No, just a thrill for everybody involved, and we couldn't be happier.
Okay, congratulations, Kylie.
Thank you so much.
Kylie Bax, just bear with me one more quick interview, guys, because we'll just come over here and just speak to this woman. She doesn't know I'm coming, but I'm going to put a hand on her shoulder again. Marie Lester, 5 Group 1s in a season for the girl that you bred. How's that?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. She is just such a wonderful ambassador for our family.
Yeah, and what a race.
What a race. She is so tough. She just hates to be beat.
Exactly, and I know there was a statistic because someone's just mentioned it to me. Tribell won this race,
yes.
I think in 1987, is that right?
87,
yeah?
Yes, she did.
And they tell me either side of that race was Bonecrusher, who this race is named after.
That's right.
There's a lot of nice little
yes, yeah, no. As soon as I knew she was going for the Bonecrusher, I went and I've got the photo on the wall and a big collage of Tribell, and I looked at her and I said, I hope we can do it again.
She's done you proud again. Congratulations, Marie.
Thank you so much.
Okay, back with you, boys.
Thank you, Aidan. And now we sort of start thinking about next season as well, because I know we're living in the present of what she's done and has cemented herself as Horse of the Year as well with what she's done this season. But it's hard to not think bigger for next season as well, for that spring campaign towards Melbourne.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that we're going to have quite a big presence in Australia come the upcoming season. If you can throw in Te Ake Ao Shark, who we haven't seen since Riccarton, who was oh so good, Dance Dance, Melody Bell, and there really is a host of others that are going to be well capable going across the Tasman. So, yeah, it's exciting times. How could she not frank up in Australia with what she's done? It's hard to think that she wouldn't. Here's the jumper of the race. Robbie tried to muster from the inside with Authentic Paddy. You have Saint Emilion coming across, Shadows Cast coming across, Vinderdance is rolling off the inside there. On the rocks, is getting into a nice position. Opie's 3 wide at this point, and she is over racing just a fraction, but he's going to posse her in behind. So the race is set now because Craig Grills has Opie's back.
Yeah.
So then it's a simple case of I will follow you and we'll find out who's best in the home straight, and that's how it developed. The pace was strong enough. with their wet track conditions. They all wanted to stay off the inside. Saint Emilion was the obvious leader. Authentic Paddy has found his normal sort of position. Farm Boy got caught 3 wide early, so that has pushed on. Shadows Cast in the 1-1. Vinda Dance on the rocks. Then you've got Melody Bell. Rondinella back in the field with Dance Dance. So not a lot changes until they sort of get to the 800 metre mark when a few in the race start to feel a bit of pressure. Rondinella tries to go forward there, and Matt comes off on Vinda Dance just to hold him 4 wide. And then Opie is in quarters, but he's also got a handful of horse. Now, at this point in the race, I don't think the front 3 or 4 are going to go on with it. To be fair to Authentic Paddy, he's come to the inside and probably been very brave, as we know he is, to hang into where he is. But Vinda Dance, you see Rondinella coming to the outside, then Dance comes around, and you see Rondinella there.
Wow.
Yeah, she got a bit of a check, but then it's race on here. They're side by side, and it was a race we wanted. And at the 200 metres, I thought, well, I'm wrong, Dance, but I never doubted this mare's attitude. We saw her at OT 3 wide the trip. That was a massive performance, and gee, I'm not sure if we'll see a better preparation from one horse in any sort of time in the near future, because to win 5 at all sort of trips and distances, it's just amazing. And the market said it all, Stephen, and the market ran right up to what we expected.
The race lived up to betting expectation. They narrowed it down to 2 horses, the 2 mares you see there graphically. Melody Bell just getting the better of Dance. $2.80 each of 2 was the closing prices and final field betting. She did the job. I'd count that as her best win to date.
You'd have to say
she's
so,
had some very, very good wins.
Look, you sort of look at her wins, like her last 3 Group 1s, like the How Nui, as you said, Bevan, 3 wide, and she still went on with the job. And maybe the BCD Group sprint race, because of the failure in the Telegraph, she's really come late when she didn't look like she was going to win on the point of the bend. You know, really her last 3 wins have been some of her better Group 1s that she's delivered, and she's paid $2.60 and $1.50.
Well, what she's shown you is toughness, because I didn't think she'd win the BDC sprint at about the 100 metre mark, and under Troy she found a way. She was 3 wide at Otaki, she found a way, and she did it easily, and today she's found a way again. Look, to me, this was just the big punters race. Like, ended up paying $2.80 a piece, and there were only 2 in the race, really, that you could see winning, so it was a profit-making race for sure.
It was. Cornella was about $3.60 or something as well. So, yep, in behind, Rondinella, Authentic Paddy finishing into that 4th position. As you said, he's run a gutsy race, isn't he, Paddy?
Well, he does what Paddy does. Yeah. He just doesn't quite have that leg speed that he used to be able to posse up and then dominate off the front. He's like, you have to niggle at him, and in his younger days he was very, very good on the wet tracks. He's sort of lost that as he's got a bit older. He's not quite so keen on the wet tracks, but look, he's gone another great race. He's been in the worst of it, and he's been good enough. Rondinella's probably a little bit unlucky not to finish a little bit closer to the 2 mares, so there's a really strong upside around Rondinella going forward as well.
All right, well, we'll have to park that race now. There's a lot to talk about, and certainly looking forward to what Dance can produce through the autumn in Sydney, and what Melody Bell can do in the spring. Of course, Hawke's Bay is going to be a light with the carnival there, with the likelihood of getting all these horses kicking off in a Tarzino and then moving on to better races through the Melbourne Carnival, and probably a race like the Cox Plate obviously is a race that's going to be on the radar now for these horses.
Yeah, we can definitely hope, not expect, but hope that we will have a couple of horses in this year's Cox Plate, which is exciting. If Winks doesn't run, it sort of opens the race up for everyone that wants to go over and have a look.
We'll have to give serious thought about bringing up some exotic bet types around the Hawke's Bay Carnival. Triple Crown winner hasn't been done yet. Melody Bell, possibly.
All right, there you go. You got a few markets to work on, Stephen. You got 1,000 guineas market bring up for Ala Luna.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Would they put Tiaki Sharky out there at 14 a mile?
That's right, yeah.
Would they put them up head to head and sort of have them go that way? It'll be interesting. They've got a lot of sort of deep conversations to have about how their team pushes forward into next season. Your deal will be a 3-year-old, and they've got a lot of options in front of them.
Haven't they? Yeah. Wow. And that's the great thing about racing is looking ahead and thinking about what could be around the corner for a new racing season. And I think we're excited about the prospect of our spring racing coming up with our 2-year-olds turning 3 and the prospect of what we've just seen here with these 2 runners and other runners as well going forward. Right, Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. Favourites, Glory Days, $4.80 and $1.90. You're only 13 minutes away from the Auckland Cup, so Gundown's at $8. Charles Road, he is not tote favourite. He's $4.90 and $2.30. He remains fixed odds favourite. And then you've got Vonga Mask and 5 to Midnight. Market update, Stephen?
Well, as you expect, with the rain that we've had during the day, they're speccing a lot of horses in this middle to end market. The likes of Blue Breeze, 21 into 18. Prince Jabeel, 26 into 18. Very Flash, 71 when betting commenced on Wednesday. 71s this morning. Got as short as $41 when we touched on this market a couple of hours ago. He's now travelling at $26. Currently our biggest liability. We are losing over 200,000 on Very Flash. Just going back to the top of the market, Charles Road, 3.3 out to $3.60. Glory Days, 5 into $4.50, just back out to $4.80 late in the piece, and 5 to Midnight solid at $5.
All right, Glory Days in picture shot. First of all, Bevan, this horse won the Avondale Cup and she announced that, I think we already knew that she was going to be a good horse in the making coming up through Cups races in the Central Districts, and she had to put in a big effort to win the Avondale Cup.
Yes, she did. She made a long, sustained run. I was thinking from back in the field, can she pick up some of these more senior horses? When you go back and watch that Avondale run, gee, she made a long, sustained run, and when she turned in, she put 2 or 3 lengths on them very, very quickly. You wouldn't want to see Sam getting there that quickly on this mare today, just over the 3,200 metres. I think Bill's right when we spoke to him, or we showed his piece earlier. She's probably got the best turn of foot in the race. Just as a question mark in these sort of track conditions, can she show at the end of 3,200 metres? I'm hopeful that she can do the job here this afternoon. She's going to be standing some serious senior tough stayers a fair bit of ground, but look, she's done everything she's been asked as preparation. She's been fantastic.
Well supported, $5.50 into $4.50, back out to $4.80. Sweens, just go quickly back to you, a quick question on her. The question mark 2 miles, you've got to remember it was 16 to 2.4 last start, which is an unusual preparation going to a 2.4 event coming off a mile race at Taranekau. So even though she was hitting the line and maybe just flattened out in the last 100 metres, that could be the reason rather than the question mark of 2 miles.
I'm not really questioning the 2 miles, but I just don't want Sam to get there that quickly and leave her there, because she may have just knocked off when she got there that quickly and had a couple of lengths on them, and then when the inside horse fought back at her, she found again. She is tough, there's no doubt about that. She is trained by Bill Thurler, who is a very, very good horseman, so she will train on, there's no doubt.
Well, here's number 8 in Gundown. Now, he's come into the race, and he's come into the reckoning with what he did last week. Now, after the back of his Nathan's victory, he was, what was he, around $18 or somewhere around that mark, I think he was, and he's now $8.50, and maybe with a little bit of forgiveness in the ground now, that brings him into the race even further with Gundown.
Well, he proved himself last start because he'd promised a lot, we'd expected him to do more, and then he finally put it out there last time. So if he's going to train on and go forward with that, yes, then he comes into it, and then the JML Bloodstock colours, well, they're sweeping all before them in recent times. So, yeah, look, he may be the upsetter in the race. I think he'll run the 2 miles. He's got that high chaparral blood on board.
Opened $8.50, got as high as $9. This is his shortest price he's been for 3 days, Gundown at $8. My only concern, he's won an open handicap full of 85 graders, yet to win a listed or a black type event going into a Group 1 contest.
Well, here's number 3 and 5 to Midnight, Bevan. He's gone desperately close to winning the race last year. He's profiled like this has been the main aim for a number of months leading in with his runs in some key lead-up races. Of course, he won the Karaka Cup here 2 starts ago.
He's been trained the whole season for today, so the connections, well, they'll be a little bit disappointed that the rain has come, but he has shown ability on wet tracks. He picked up a nice win at Awa Puni, that being, what was that, 6 runs ago on a wet track in a much lesser grade than this. You know he goes 2 miles, you know he's tough, you see him there, he's finished into a beautiful horse. He's been to the big dance before, there's nothing bothering him. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't run him 4.
Open 5, we have not moved that price since betting commenced on Wednesday, Brendan. One of very few horses that will be running for the bookies.
Number 2, Vonga Mask. Well, he ran in the Melbourne Cup last year and he was beaten into 15th position. He's won at Queen Elizabeth. He's got 2 mile form. He was very impressive at his last win at listed level. But the biggest issue with this horse, Bevan, is that the rain has fallen, and from what we've heard from Mike Moroney, that's not what they were looking for.
Yeah, I actually quite liked what he did leading into the Melbourne Cup. And the price, I don't know, I didn't get there in the end, but I thought, well, he might be some sort of chance. But I had to be led by the connections who say he's no good on this sort of track condition, so he's out of the mix for mine.
Plenty of nice tickets surrounding him in all-in betting, $26 3-4 weeks ago. I think the biggest single bet in the futures was 200 at 26 around Bonga Mask. Got a short of $6.50 this morning. Post those comments around Michael Moroney on Bonga Mask, $8.50, a big drifter.
Well, here's Charles Road. He's run 3 very good fourths after his Melbourne Cup 7th. That was at Pukekohe over 1,600 metres, then in the Herbie Dyke, and then at his last run, which was, of course, in the Kaimai Stakes. His 2 mile form is on point. He's run 7th in the Melbourne Cup, 3rd in a Sydney Cup, and was desperately unlucky in this race last year.
The 2 mile form, he's the class 2 miler in the race. He's probably going to get a little bit of that top end speed taken away from him, but he's the other senior stayer in the race outside of 5 to Midnight with Bonga Mask. We're saying no on these track conditions. His preparation has looked perfect, hasn't it, coming into today and what we've seen in the last 3 starts. So yeah, he's, for me, the top selection in the race.
Pre-post favourite for a good 4 to 5 weeks now, Charles Road. $3.30 when betting commenced on Wednesday. Was that price this morning? Just drifted to $3.60. Don't be put off, punters. He's the second best back when it comes to dollars invested in behind Glory Days.
All right, we move on to the next runner now, and it's Prince Jabeel. Caused a big upset when winning the City of Auckland Cup 3 starts ago, then backed it up by carrying 59 kilograms in a Wellington Cup. So he's got 2 mile form. The question mark, as we've sort of heard as well with this bloke, is he's not too keen on the heavy stuff.
He just went from nowhere to carrying 59 in a Wellington Cup. So it was actually a very good performance to finish off as close as it did on that occasion. Look, whether this horse is going to be comfortable in these track conditions, I think has to be a slight question mark. I think they're going to push forward and try and lead on him and have a real throw at the stumps on this horse and say, well, we're here today, let's push forward, and if he handles the track conditions, maybe that pattern of winning here will be followed on with today.
Open 26, we accepted a $1,000 bet each way, win and top 3 around Prince Jabeel. Got as short as 18, just drifted back out to 21. Has the key and informed jockey, Lee Thinnis.
Certainly does, doesn't he? Prince Jabeel at that big price. Let's talk about a couple of other runners, even though they may not be... Well, there's Duplicity. Bevan will bring Duplicity into this mix. Running number 9. Does have 2 mile form. Recently ran 2nd in a New Zealand Cup.
Yeah, good tough start. Actually set this one for the New Zealand Cup. So went to the Wellington Cup, made some ground. It's a tough horse. You have to get moving and get working on Duplicity. But what's the price, Duplicity? 48s, 50s. It's worth a gold coin.
Not friendless, 51 out to 61.
Okay, very shortly we'll catch up with Aidan Rodley as we've tried to cover off a few of the runners. Peso, I'll bring you in on this one, Bevan. Peso, he's a runner that's short eye on the tote at $15. We know he'll be rock hard fit from the stable of Paul Nelson. He did run 2nd in the City of Auckland Cup. He's been 3rd in the Wairau Cup recently, and he's won at stakes level this season in the Jackalbury Classic. I've
got massive respect around Peso and the training abilities of Paul Nelson at 2 miles. We know his abilities with the jumpers to just get that fitness right. Look, for me, was a little bit disappointing at Wairoa. I thought Peso would just win that race, but you never know whether exactly they are in that preparation to get to the 2 miles. So I'm sure there was a little twist in Peso. Will love these wet track conditions. You've got to think it'll push forward. Maybe sits outside Prince Jabeel. It'll be there somewhere as they turn in, and is a very tough horse as we saw through Hawke's Bay.
31 into 18, as like Very Flash, a heavy liability around the 6.
Aidan, to you with Bill Thurlow.
Grabbed Bill, and of course those celebrations from the Avondale Cup, we were just talking about them. They've got to be a distant memory today because you've got another job to do.
Yeah, we've got another job to do today. It's a totally different scene today, so yeah, hopefully she can do it again. So.
Okay, we've got different circumstances around it, track conditions as well. How will she cope?
I think the track conditions she'll be fine with them. I don't think they'll be too big a problem, to be fair.
Okay, and what about the extra distance, 3,200 metres? It is a test of any stayer.
Yeah, it really is a test, and probably that's the only question mark. She's never done it before, and it's probably unknown, but we've got a feeling she will, but as I say, it's unknown.
Yeah, what gives you the confidence that she can sort of run out a strong 2 miles?
Oh, she's always finishing her work off, and she's a reasonably tough horse, so, I think she will get it, yeah.
Okay, she's trained on okay since the Avondale Cup?
Yeah, she has, Aidan, done really well.
Okay, you took her home, of course, back to the farm on Waverley?
Straight back to the farm that night, and she was in the paddock, and she's done well since then.
Okay, you've seen all the form of these very good quality horses up against you. How does she measure up?
Oh, but probably, there's a lot of proven 2 milers in here, which is a concern. They've been out there, and they're old war horses, really. They've been out there and done it, and they're pretty good, so that's a concern for us.
Yeah, she's the new kid on the block. Let's see if she make you proud today.
Hopefully she can.
Good on you, Bill.
Good, thank you.
Bill Thurlow talking about his chances with the third favourite in the race, and that being Glory Days at $4.80. Let's talk about Blue Breeze. $16 for Blue Breeze, and he comes into the race with the aqua that has fallen. He's run 2 great races in Cups races this season. He ran 3rd in the Counties Cup, and he's run 2nd most recently behind Glory Days in the Avondale Cup.
Well, on the face of things, it was only beaten a very short margin by Glory Days at its most recent start, and the price differential was massive, so I think many out there will suggest it's an over, especially with the track conditions that prevail at the present moment. Look, I don't have it in 4, but it ran a great race in the Avondale.
Well supported, 21 on opening, got as short as 18 2 minutes ago, just coming 2 full points to $16. Another horse I've spec'd in the middle market, which is a losing result, has that wet track form in a group race being the Counties Cup.
To see Lance O'Sullivan still got fans. He's still a superstar, eh? He's talking to some of the race goers there on the fence line. And of course, Opie Bosson going past Lance's Group 1 record as well. All right, let's have a chat about a couple of other runners here, Bevan. Is there any other runners here that we need to... Commander Lincoln, runner number 10, how do we rate him?
Well, it certainly stays. You remember this horse winning a couple of races, like 2,500 metres down at Riccarton through the carnival there. Certainly handles wet track conditions. You wouldn't be put off by the run behind Gorbachev in the Wellington Cup. Made some good ground late to behind Gundown. So if we think Gundown's a major chance in the race, or some outside chance of getting into this particular race, and look, yes, Commander Lincoln is the sort of horse who I can definitely say I think will get 2 more.
Almost double the opening line, 35 out to 61.
Round at the start to you, Emily Bosson.
Thanks, Brendan. I trotted down to the start and all of these horses cantered past me, so I got a really good opportunity to have a look at how they were striding out, and I've actually gone with a 6 Peso on top. I just love the form on the heavy track, and gosh, just moved out beautifully as it was cantering around to the start. Outside of that, 5 to Midnight for me. Charles Road looks magnificent, and Rock On was an eye catcher as well. A lot to like about these horses. Can't wait for this next one, George.
Yes, certainly, Emily, and good luck to all the connections with runners in this year's Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. They are loading away pretty quickly. We apologise for speaking over the national anthem, but there's only about half a dozen or so to come into line, and I think we've still got another verse to go in the national anthem, boys. So I think we'll get there in time. But the favourite for the event, Glory Days, after her win in the Avondale Cup. Charles Road has gone forward. So the last 3 or 4, he's cutting it fine. The bloke singing the national anthem, doing a wonderful job, he is too. And he's timed it perfectly because the last couple are about to come in. Rock On about to go up, and Prince Jabil. Brilliantly timed. We are set to go in the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. Gates open, they're off and racing in the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. And one of the first away was Duplicity near the inside to lead out from Very Flash. D&G is right there as well. Venger Mask is up handy. August Edition will settle just in behind those. Followed out next by Prince Jabil, who's working across from a wide draw. Peso's back midfield with Charles Road. And then came Commander Lincoln on the inside of the Rebel Knight. 5 to Midnight out a bit deeper on the track with Blue Breeze. 2.5 away, Rock On, being shouted by Gun Down. 3 lengths away, Delegate. And back last of all is the Avondale Avondale Cup winner Glory Days. Inside the 800 metres mark, they come on their first occasion in the Cup, and the pacemaker Very Flash took over for Rowena Smythe. Leads by 1 length from Prince Jabil second, 1.5 to Duplicity. Finger Mask is in 4th position, then came D&G and August Edition. Between the two is Peso from Blue Breeze. It's only a steady tempo as they come towards a home turn. Charles Road is back midfield, only 6 off the leaders. The Rebel Knights closer to the rail than most, then followed further back as they still come down the home straight out in the centre of the track. Back and behind those next then we've got 5 to Midnight, Gun Down. Well back Commander Lincoln, Rock On. Glory Days is back equal last with Delegate. So down by the 200 metres mark they come on their first occasion, and the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup, and D&G strides forward to take over for replacement rider Sam Spratt. Leads by 1.5 lengths from Prince Jabil. Third on the inside is next is Very Flash, and then followed round by Venga Mask, who's just inclined to over-race a tad. On its inside, Duplicity, followed by Blue Breeze out deeper. Then August Edition. In that group also Peso. The Rebel Knights poking up on the inside next, and there's plenty of room there. Then followed round by Charles Road. 5 to Midnight and Gun Down out on a limb out in the cheap seats, 3 and 4 wide. 2 lengths away, Commander Lincoln from Rock On. And the last pair are Glory Days, the race favourite, and alongside of it is Delegate. Into the MAC they go. 1,400 metres from home in the Cup, and it's D&G the leader. Leads by 1.5. From in second spot, Very Flash, Prince Jabil, then Venga Mask. Followed next on the inside by Duplicity, Blue Breeze, August Edition and Peso in that group. Then Charles Road, he's midfield, and he's 7 lengths off the leaders from Gun Down. With them is 5 to Midnight, followed by the Rebel Knight, who got back on the inside with Commander Lincoln. Well back Rock On and Glory Days. And last of all is Delegate. 900 metres to go in the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. There is only 8 lengths first to last, and it's D&G the Southerner shows the way by 1 length from Prince Jabil. Very Flash, Finger Mask. Working forward is Blue Breeze, Duplicity, August Edition, Charles Road on the inside. They pack right up here. Then came Gun Down, who looks to improve around on the outside. Now Glory Days are starting to circle them here. Then followed further back by Delegate. Well back King Commander. 5 to Midnight got back as well. Dropping right out of it the Rebel Knight. Rock On as well back towards the tail as they make the corner and they head for home. It's D&G the leader. Out wide coming after it. Glory Days now for Sam Collett. Glory Days hit the lead in the Cup of the 300. Blue Breeze is chasing it. They fought out the Avondale Cup, but it's Glory Days in front of the Auckland Cup. She's 3 lengths in front from Blue Breeze. 5 to Midnight on the inside. Glory Days. Sam Collett looking for her first Group 1 winner, and you've got it, Sammy. Glory Days for Bill Thurlow wins the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. Second over photos, 5 to Midnight, and with it as well Blue Breeze. Fourth over will be D&G with a huge race. Then Venga Mask followed by Commander Lincoln. Then Charles Road. Further back Very Flash. With those as well Rock On with Duplicity. Gun Down. Further away Peso, Prince Jabil, August Edition, Delegate, and the Rebel Knight will be the last one home. What a moment for Sam Collett. After all the heroics of Opie Bosson earlier in the Group 1 wins in the 2 previous races, Sam Collett, New Zealand's champion rider last season, she rides her first Group 1 winner aboard the Bill Thurlow trained Glory Days. What a moment for Sam Collett and Bill Thurlow as well, the Waverley trainer. They've come to town and they've got it with the mare by Red Giant, Glory Days. She'll win the Cup and a triumphant salute. Second, it is very close between 5 to Midnight and Blue Breeze, and D&G has run 4th in the Cup. Let's go to Emily Bosson and an obviously delighted Sam Collett.
Sam just said to me she's trying hard not to cry, and Sam, that is just how massive this is for you. You've been a champion jockey and you've got a first Group 1. Well done.
Thank you. It's trying to keep up with Mum and Dad, and to get this is great. I know they quinted the race in 91, so that was pretty cool. I was here as a kid that day, not that I remember much, but it's awesome, and just so wrapped, especially for Bill. He deserves it. I'm wrapped that he entrusted me with a ride on this mare, and she's as tough as they come.
You didn't change anything from the Avondale Cup. You just rode her quiet, and she's not a whole lot to look at, but gee, she's got a motor.
She does, and full credit to her. The whole race, I know I was back. I didn't want to panic. I really just wanted to be mindful to put myself in the spot on the corner where I wasn't going to get around the whole field this time, But she just dragged me there.
Well done. Enjoy this first Group 1. You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
And a man exactly the same category as Bill Thurlow. What's it like to win an Auckland Cup?
Oh, it's unbelievable, really. I don't know what to say. I think the horse has just said it all, really, to be fair.
Yeah. What did you think when she's come into the race, circled them and put a space on them at the 300 metre mark? What was the thoughts going through?
I was so confident. Even going down the back, I could see she was travelling sweet and everything went to plan. We'd planned to get her back, just let her relax. And when she circled them, when she got there, I knew it was going to take a very, very good horse to beat her because she just doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, it's been the culmination of a plan where you've just stepped her up incrementally in distances, and today it's really paid off, hasn't it?
It really has, yeah. We've nursed for long and planned to get here. We've got here, and I just can't believe it. We've done it.
Okay. Sydney Cup beckons. Will you book a flight?
Well, we'll just take her home and see, yeah. But there's a good chance, yeah.
There's a bit of noise coming from here. What about for your owners, your crew of owners? What will this mean to them?
Oh, it's huge to them. I mean, they've been in the industry for a long time and they're just ecstatic. I mean, it's big for anybody, whether it's, someone from the country or a big trainer to win an Auckland Cup. It's massive, so, it means a lot to everybody.
Well, we saw a pretty good one from Waverley win a cup a few years back and go over and win a Melbourne Cup. Could that be on the radar?
Oh, well, look, I don't think she's quite in the vein of the great Kiwi, but who knows? We'll see where we end up.
I'd say the Clarendon will be rocking tonight, though.
Thank you very much.
Good on you, Bill.
Cheers.
Amazing scenes. Well done to Bill Thurlow out of Waverley. They've come to the big smoke. They've taken away all the big cash here with Glory Days, who won the Avondale Cup as a perfect lead-in towards this race. And Sam Collett, she grabs win number 1 at the elite level.
She was just too good at the corner. She just travelled into it like the winner. She sat back, was muddling run, you'd have to say. But she's got to the outside and she's really, really delivered nicely. And I'm just thrilled for Bill. He's one of the great blokes around the Central Districts. He's been on that Waverley Jockey Club or Racing Club committee for a long time. I think he's been president in his time, and he's got a nice little team of horses around him. He's been very patient with this mare, and he's got a result because she has been dominant. 5 to Midnight. Oh, he deserves a big race, doesn't he? Look, he sort of got shuffled back before the corner and then had to come to the inside. He's been very brave. Blue Breeze has run right up to that Avondale Cup run. It's been fantastic performance from Blue Breeze as well, but it's great. Sam Collett deserves this. She worked so hard last season to win the premiership. She rides everywhere, and she's been close up in a couple of Group 1s. She gets her day in the sun today with the Glory Days, so a fitting result. The CD get the top 2 positions in this year's Auckland Cup.
They do indeed, with 5 to Midnight finishing second. And look, we saw the Avondale Cup form come through as well with Blue Breeze finishing into 3rd position. He's put himself there, and he's run an almighty race in the Auckland Cup, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Look, he was second for a long way down the home straight. 5 to Midnight just kept on staying away. He just doesn't quite have the turn of foot of a Glory Days, does he? He does run 2 miles. He's a big, strong stayer. He's just beaten by a better horse today.
And D&G set the race up and has fought on to finish into 4th position, a horse who ran second in the Wellington Cup. 5:22.10 Glory Days, $2 5 to Midnight, $4.40 for Blue Breeze. 3 and 14 Quinella, 15.70. Trifecta's paid $293.70. First 4, 3,847.60 on 14, 3, 7 and 15. Obviously we'll look at the race again, Bevan, but we probably need to spy horses like Charles Road, who started as one of the favourites in the race, who hasn't been able to finish in the top 4 or 5. You've got Bonga Mask, another one who was as well, who was well supported in the market. Hasn't been too far off those top runners, but it was Glory Days, and came into the race too, Bevan, with stats that suggested that the rain wasn't going to be an issue for her. She's always been able to appreciate getting her toe into the ground.
Yeah, she was a tough in it. Of all the horses, she travelled the best by far, because at the corner, when Sam got to the right part of the track, and it was a nice bit of riding to get there, she produced and she put a gap in them very, very quickly, as she did in the Avondale Cup, and she ran through the 2 miles very, very strongly. So she might be another interesting runner to head over to Australia and take part, because she's tough and with a turn of foot, which is a factor that not a lot of New Zealand stars have had in recent times. She can really quicken up, and so why not? Why not?
What about that, Stephen?
Fantastic. And that's the appropriate words I can use on camera, to be honest. Glory Days. Look, I've got a bit of a personal endeavour around her. Gloria Kenny, outstanding breeding. Co-breeder basically with the uncle and Graham Hunt, and he's done a lot in terms of a solo breeder over the last 10 to 15 years, and he made this cross with Red Giant and Balancia and has done the job, and full credit to all the connections involved. And I agree with your comments, Sweens, around the horse. She's away from that traditional stayer that we've developed over the last 15, 20 years in New Zealand, where she has that turn of foot. She can operate over a shorter trip, 1,1400 metres, no problem. So, yeah, all looking forward to a Sydney Cup campaign, all going well post this race.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Aidan, back to you.
Yeah, we grabbed Kevin Pratt, and what a run from 5 to midnight. What did you make of that?
Oh, it was great. I was just, I thought he was gone at 600, but he's kept coming. He just keeps trying that dog, horse. Thinking about the dogs. He just keeps trying. He really keeps trying. I've been in 5 cups now, made 3 seconds. He couldn't get better than that.
Yeah, that's the one thing about him, never say die. What could be in store from him from here? Is he still nominated for the Sydney Cup?
Not the Sydney Cup. We're talking about the Brisbane Cup, but we'll just make a decision on Monday, Tuesday next week and see how he pulls up. But no hurry to make a decision on that.
Jeez, this Auckland Cup's just proved a little bit elusive, though, isn't it?
I know. Last year was very close. It was beaten by a lip, but today was the lighter weight. 3 kilos just got us and the track a little bit, slowed us down.
He's done you proud again, though. A lovely run.
He just keeps trying, keeps fighting on. Great.
Yeah, well done. Good on you.
Thanks a lot.
Look at that great emotion there. Cheering on your charge at Ellerslie, winning an Auckland Cup. It must be just a feeling that, gee, it'd be amazing to be able to try and comprehend that feeling, wouldn't it, Bevan? And as you can see in their eyes there, they're loving every moment.
Oh, I wish it would happen, BP. I really do. Wish I could have a little bit of that, but maybe in the future. We'll keep on trying, but yeah. Look, she was always running back through the Hawke's Bay Carnival. She was there in the spring, running over the 1,400 metres and running home beautifully. Never at that point did I think 2 miles was where we were going to see her end up, but Bill obviously had a plan in his mind from a long, long way out, and to pull that off, as Alan Sherrick did last year with Ladies First, he said, from moment one, Ladies First is going to be in the Auckland Cup and I'm going to win it, and got the job done. And I think Bill's had the same mindset this whole season, and he's done the job. So for a trainer, I think that must be massively fulfilling. And gee, there's been some horses come out of Waverley, isn't there, when you reflect back through the times. And here's another magnificent horseman who has produced her on the mark. I think she'll continue to train on. She's just so tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to see her go across the ditch. So it'll be good to pick up a replay of this race so we can see a couple of things, how they unfolded in the race. Charles Road, well, he was in tight quarters, but maybe the ground got to him. D&G's run a race. So, Aidan, we'll get another interview before we bring up the replay.
Yeah, Blue Breeze has got a super race co-owner in Tony Gavigan. You must have thought that you were in the hunt, certainly turning for home.
Yeah, but the weights, we've given away 6 kgs to the horse that just nutted us on the line. And, I'd just love to see him go around 2 miles with a handicap, because that was a top effort. Thanks to Chris, it was a great ride. Alan, inch-perfect training effort. And I've got 2 full sisters at home and 1 inside mum. So it's all upside from here.
Exactly. We've seen him Group 2 place and now Group 1 placing today. That's pretty important, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And look, we did a lot of work in the 80s with breeding. We actually bought 8 Carat with Sir Patrick Hogan. But this is my first Group 1 placing horse that I've bred, and it's really exciting.
Yeah. What's in store for the bloke?
Well, they say you shouldn't make decisions on race day, but I'd love to have a crack at the Sydney Cup at handicap conditions. So if there's someone in Australia who wants to pay the airfare and take a piece of the steak, give me a call.
Sounds good to me. Good on you, Tony. Well done.
Thanks a lot.
He's buzzing. Hey, gee, we're going to have a few horses in Australia, aren't we? Having a shot at it, and why not? Why not? There's always the chance of a bit of rain there as well, which will help him. Okay, well, early stage of the race, gee, they found their spots, and gee, they were just dawdling, weren't they? And then before D&G was able to go for it and find that early position. So this is the early stages of the race where horses found their position and really did go past us the first time at a very moderate tempo.
Yeah, it was a bit confusing early as how I'd frame it up, because they were 3 wide on speed and they didn't seem to mind it. I think at that point you could say there's a line of 4 across the front part of this particular race. The 11 was in front. That was very flash at this point. Prince Beale pushing forward, and D&G's then are going to keep on rolling on. Duplicity's there towards the inside. Peso 5 back there. You've got Charles Road in the middle. They were together, the two senior horses there in 5 to Midnight and Charles Road. And at this point in the race, it was just a hat canter. But I think everyone's thinking heavy 10, 2 miles. We don't want to be putting too much speed into it. But I thought D&G injected a little bit of pace into it. They've probably gone 32.50 with where they've had to run in the race. But the jocks are just clearly trying to find the best part of the track. But it's well established now at this point in the race with D&G, Prince Beale there, Duplicity. Peso maybe a little bit further back than I expected in the run. Blue Breeze has caught out a little bit on a limb there, gun down behind it, and the favourite Charles Road and 5 to Midnight, they are shoulder to shoulder, rock on further back than that, Commander Lincoln, and Glory Days, she's just biding her time at the back of the field at this particular moment. So just a little bit more speed went into this race when D&G gets to this position, sort of the pattern we saw down at Riccarton when it led up and kept on rolling, and it's gone a very brave race from that forward position, but not a lot is going to change until we get to around about the 800 metre mark when it really seems to pack up. And there's a couple of horses that are in tight quarters, and then it's just a chase towards the outside, and Sam got the timing perfectly here because, well, in fact, it's probably the horse because it was just travelling so strongly for her. You see her there absolutely loving the going, this mare. I think you can take that out of the race. She does handle these wet tracks very, very well. So not a lot's changed at this point. You've got D&G in front, very flash. Prince Beale.
Bigger Mask looking to just try and creep into the race as well. And Blue Breeze, who's covered some extra ground as well throughout the running of the race, is presented there at that time as well. And this is when Sam Collett looks to start making a move. And then, of course, 5 to Midnight, we need to try and pick up his run as well from the middle of the pack at the moment.
He gets squeezed out here. He's right in the middle of them, and Charles Rose is to his inside. Jonathan just tries to make a move there to get him towards the outside, and he just sees a wall. He just sees an absolute wall there, so he thinks, well, I've only got one option here, and he does actually cut the corner and make up quite a lot of ground quite quickly.
It's a run, isn't it?
But even saying that, you see Glory Days just travelling into it at this point, and she seems to have a lot to offer, and she has. So 5 to Midnight scooted up the inside. There's Blue Breeze right there inside of Glory Days, but she's gone here. She's 2 lengths in front at this point, so she's going to have to stop for these other 2 horses to pick her up, and she's too tough. She keeps on rolling. Blue Breeze has been brave. 5 to Midnight's just kept on rolling. He just keeps on rolling, and D&G has been okay. Charles Road never really found. Gun down, looked a little bit tied up in the track conditions. It really came down to 3, and really at the top of the straight it came down to 1.
It did, didn't it? And Glory Days was that one who wins the race and closes off at 5:22.10. 5 to Midnight. Watching that video again and seeing what he's done in that last 800 metres, it's a massive effort to run second from him and just put Blue Breeze on the line to finish into 3rd position. So that's the wash-up around the last of our Group 1s. Of course, that being the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup in the wind going to Glory Days. And Sam Collett, well, Sam Collett, a hard-working jockey that's, travelled the country to be the champion jockey last season. That Group 1 was still elusive, potentially she thought maybe going into the Group 1 1,000 guineas, that might have been her race with Expression, but today she gets that reward.
Just not hard-working, I think much improved is how I would sum up Sam Collett. She's very good at positioning horses in the race now. She's strong in her finish. She's really improved out of sight in my mind, and that's come through hard work and a lot of riding and across a lot of places. She's a natural lightweight, which allows her to travel a lot, so she gets an advantage through that. But she's worked hard, and she joins mum and dad now, and that must give her a massive thrill as a Group 1 winner. You can't knock her. She deserved it today. She rode the source as instructed, and she got the race right. So that's all you can ask when you leg a young lady up like that. And she's now a Group 1 winner, so that'll be a wonderful feeling for her when she heads home tonight.
Certainly will be. Right, let's get to the presentation with Bill Thello.
We decided how we thought the race would be run. We decided how we thought we should ride the mare, and she rode it absolutely perfectly. And I just want to thank everyone else that's been involved with her. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we celebrated women. Today, it's important to note that Sam's ride, this is the first female to win this cup since 2004. Most importantly, today we celebrate a young woman in racing by the name of Sam Collett. This is her very first Group 1, and it's my greatest pleasure to introduce you to Group 1 winning jockey, Sam Collett.
I'll keep this pretty short, and like myself. Big thank you to everyone who's here today. It makes these occasions even more important with a big crowd. Thank you to the sponsors. Without sponsors, we don't have racing. And a big thank you to Bill and the owners. You guys are just awesome. And when I got the phone call to Ryder, I couldn't have said yes fast enough. To be up here and win my first Group 1, it just means so much to me, stepping in the footsteps of both my mum and dad, who are multiple Group 1 winning riders themselves. It really is the feather in the cap that I've been missing, so it couldn't be any more special. Thank you.
All right, well, that's the presentation there, and Sam Collett, great scenes there with Maria Falau, of course, the ambassador for Barfoot and Thompson, presenting her with that winning award and taking, and I think that is a moment as well with Mum Trudy Thornton, first to really congratulate and pass on that winning kiss, and a great family moment out on the track with jockey Sam Collett. Well, we better break the races down now before we finish our YouTube streaming coverage, and we'll go to the first of those Group 1s now, Bevan, and of course it was the Sistema Stakes for the 2-year-olds. We saw Your Deal, who finished off under $2. We could sort of see the money floating in for the horse, got to 180, and what a great finish it was, because A La Lune tried to dive and take the race off him, but holds and was very gallant, because I must say, turning for home, it looked like his chips were all out, but he just kept on finding.
Yeah, as Chris Rutten said in his post-race, this horse will go on, and what you see here is a horse who you think will develop into a horse who will get over a bit more ground, because he's got a bit of a tough nature, and he's bred to get over a bit more ground, being by Dundee. Aretha's good in the centre. A La Lune just looked uncomfortable in the track conditions and was very, very brave. So I feel as though she's a Group 1 winner in waiting. Maybe it's Awapuni, maybe it's next season. I'm not 100% sure. Bavella was good out wide, but look, when the chips were down, this horse found the best and got the job done. And yeah, that Dundee roll just keeps on keeping on.
It does. Have you got a market now, Stephen, for that size produce stakes?
Your Deal, $2.20. In front of A La Lune at $5. Proper Bill, I believe, is at $5 as well, but we know the question marks surrounding her. And then outside that, they're $10 the rest of the field. So a market that's probably dominated at this stage by 2 runners, and what we saw there, the Quinella and the Sistema. So there's 3 weeks to play out for that market. 30th of March, I think the race is run at Awapuni. So yeah, $2.20 if you like Your Deal, which will you look at both Your Deal and A La Lune, they're both going to really appreciate the 1,400 metres, and you'd hope back on a better surface that won't hurt either runner. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that futures market shapes up into a final field market.
Let's move on now to the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. Melody Bell versus Dance Dance Dance, and it's what we got. It was Waverley Star and Bonecrusher when turning for home, and Melody Bell, she stepped up to the plate again.
Well, Melody Bell was the belle of the ball, or the dance, whichever way you want to see it, because Dance 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 went outside Melody Bell, looked to have a head on her, and then she showed champion qualities to find again under Opie Bosson, who beat Lance O'Sullivan's record with this performance. So 2 very good mares. One stamped herself as a great today with 5 Group 1s in a season. The other may go across the ditch and put her hand up again, but gee, it had to be some performance from Dance 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 to get over the top of Melody Bell as Horse of the Year, because she's just done everything that's been asked of her. So yeah, it's amazing what she's done this season, and she's a credit to all involved with her.
For the opposite.
And then Oh, that's right. We had the famous cartwheel, didn't we? Of course, that was the challenge laid down, I think, from the Baker Forsman crew as well. Winning strapper had to produce a cartwheel as well, and Tainer, he's loving that. He loved that opportunity to be able to have a shot at that. That's for sure. So, and Rondinella finishing into third position to grab herself a Group 1 and put herself. I believe that she has got a good race in her as well, Bevan. I mean, get her on top of the ground on a better surface as well. She was impeded on the point of the bend. There's a lot to look forward to with her.
I think she raced better than probably Roger expected to do. She's got a good 10 of foot. She's got a bit of scope about her, a bit of stretch. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Roger goes with her. I don't think Australia would be beckoning as well. Surely.
Could be. Right, well, let's go on to the last Group 1 now. And, of course, it was the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. And a victory to Glory Days, taking the race out, beating out last year's place getter, of course, and that being 5 to Midnight, who's run second. And Blue Breeze finishing into third position. We've spoken a lot around what we've just seen with this victory from Glory Days. Great for Bill Thurlow and for everybody associated. They've come to town and they're really going to rip in because they clearly loved it on the line, with Sam Collett grabbing that Group 1 victory.
Yeah, it was a superb performance. The Clarendon, as you mentioned, it'll be a tough place tonight to be later on, I'd expect, because that will be rocking and rolling. But to bring her up here and to produce that performance, she's been trained to the minute, she's delivered. It's just a wonderful story around here, and she's pretty appropriately named now, isn't she?
Yes.
In Glory Days.
Stephen, out of the 3 Group 1s, how have the bookmakers fared?
Momentum clearly with the punters, saying that Glory Days was a break-even result, knowing the fact that they were speccing in that middle to end market and the spread of money around Charles Road and 5 to Midnight. But when it came to Your Deal, clearly a winning result for punters. No surprise, $3 top fluck, got as short as $1.75 on close for the son of Dundee, taking out the Sistema. And then you had Melody Bell, who was so dominant in betting right throughout. Betting commenced on Wednesday. A number of 4-figure bets. Biggest single bet was a 5-figure 10K bet on Melody Bell. From memory, it ran about a $3.20 quote on Friday afternoon. So punters pretty happy with their work. 7 days, a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, well, that's the completion of our streaming service here out of Ellerslie. I hope you've really enjoyed the 3 Group 1s. So much was about this race day with 3 Group 1s in front of us. For the 2-year-olds, the Bonecrusher Weight for Age Stakes with the number of Group 1 winners in the race, but it was a race set down between Melody Bell and Dance. And then the Avondale Cup winner from 3 weeks ago came out and delivered again by the name of Glory Days in the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup. Hope you've enjoyed our streaming service on your second screen.